So we start out. We head down into the cavern. We go deeper in. Alexios casts Featherfall, and we all descend peacefully. And as soon as we get down, we discover a. There's a fancy word for it. It's a pile of crystals. That typically travelers leave things inside. Don't remember the word called. That thing, whatever that is. Kirin, however you pronounce it. Don't know. Um, and we do some investigating, and everyone's really cautious about opening up stuff or messing with things because we've been exploded a couple times. But I say fuck it, and I do it, and we end up finding stuff, and that sets us on our journey for the whole session. Um, we end up finding a note and a kind of half-done map, maybe, if you can call that, maybe 1/3. And it's from the people that have come down here, specifically. I don't remember his name, but we're pursuing them basically the whole time during the session. So, they basically say, take a look for like deactivated crystals, ones that aren't glowing, broken ones. Look for the piles, and that's where notes will be, and that's where we follow the paper trail. Pretty early on into the session, we start exploring some of the tunnels, and we find a really small one that only a small creature can fit into. I have Rufus turn into a rat, and he scurries in the hole, and he ends up finding this room that has like some recessed areas in it that we think something could kind of slot into, kind of like another puzzle room. But it's like the distance of my remote viewing find familiar spell. So it's like roughly behind, I think it's like 100 feet of solid rock. So we're not going to be able to get through there unless we find another way. Kind of following down that same hallway that we found the hole in, we continue exploring, and we start to come across more of those piles of crystals and more notes, and basically they just keep leading us further and further in. And this whole time we're trying to update the map that was given to us in the first pile, just so that we can map this place out. But things aren't sounding too great. There's mentions of like these beasts roaming the caves, and people going in further and deeper, and people losing contact, and things start to get a little spooky, basically. And we end up going deeper, and we end up finding kind of like some ruins and things, with more notes. And eventually we start encountering these like statue-like people. And it's kind of at this like corridor, this like intersection that has this big bowl at the end, that we find these two figures that are frozen in time. They look like carved statues. We all have kind of a feeling that these are not statues, that they're maybe people that are petrified. Don't know for sure, but Boone casts Fairy Fire at this kind of like intersection, and two things are illuminated. It's these ghost things that are seeking warmth. Sort of immediately break out into combat. Rykard casts Create Bonfire. They are attracted to it, and when more light is created, they start to be revealed. If they aren't illuminated by light, then they're invisible. So we get into combat, um, and we end up dispatching all of them. They die, and we get to digging around the sort of immediate area for more clues. Um, there's a door at the end of this hallway. That's just behind that big brazier bowl thing. Um, Rykard ends up taking a look inside the bowl, climbing inside, and digging around in some of the ashes of the brazier, and we find some things. We find a reflective dagger, and we find uh, this scrap piece of paper that has like a magical symbol on it, ward, that's no longer active, but kind of it sort of ties together what we had gotten on a previous note that talked about like a magical ward keeping these beasts or these beings away, presumably the ghosts. Um, and there's no way forward. There's only one way, and it's forward. So we end up going through that door. Um, in that door, we find a lot more of those statue things, petrified people. And we end up finding sort of like a deserted campsite, quote unquote campsite, like a bedroll and some remnants of food from the previous party that was in here. It's old, but not super old. We find another note, and it just keeps leading us further and further in. So we continue going through the dungeon. After that, we found some magic items, I think, in that room. I don't remember exactly where we found where we found what. Going further down in the dungeon, or further down the cave, whatever, we come across this like puzzle room, and it's got this big, long puzzle that I don't have all the words written down for, but it talks about sort of finding a solution like with your enemies, and all these like paintings in the room depict like various different types of like monsters and stuff, and there's a whole riddle that goes along with it. But we end up finding out that there's like a common set of letters, and we end up getting something like Warblia or something like that. Warblia, and from then on, we kind of just brute force the puzzle, making trying to make words out of the letters that we found. Ended up being owlbear. I just kind of brute forced it, so I don't really know why it was owlbear, but it ended up working. So that was the solution. We ended up having to kind of punch the numbers into this mechanism at the base of this statue. And when it lifted its sword, it opened up a door, and we went further down. There was a trap that caused these like iron spears to come up from the walls and pierce things. We all had to jump across. At the end of that hallway, that narrow hallway, there was another door that led even further down. But as we're crossing that, we hear something behind us. Pretty scary, because we didn't hear the ghosts, so we don't know what this thing is. So we end up getting through the puzzle, the spear trap thing, but Beacon gets kind of caught in the doorway when we see this like mechanical bull thing, and it's kind of breathing out this like toxic gas, and he starts to like get petrified. He resists it, but it ends up triggering the trap, pinning itself, and we're able to just finish it off, firing numerous pot shots at it in its sort of distressed state, and we take it down. Yeah, so going further and further down this sort of pathway, we end up finding a person that is like tangled up in a rope. It seems like they were trying to climb up the rope and they got petrified. And so we um, pull them up and we like take a look at what they got on them. Um, and I think we find another note talking about how they were looking for someone but they couldn't find them. Um, and from then on, we're like, well, we found the person I think that kind of made it furthest. And I should totally forgot about this. Along the way, we were finding plates that fit into that puzzle, or look like they fit into that puzzle thing that we saw at the very beginning of this dungeon. And on them they had another like the final plate that we needed. So we doubled back. We saw more of those. I think we did say that they were gorgons, those mechanical bull creatures on the way back. We had to sneak through, and we had some good teamwork. Rykard turned Beacon invisible, and then Rowan cast Pass Without a Trace and get everybody good stealth boost. And we were able to make it through past all the Gorgons and avoid that big fight that we probably could not have won. And, you know, we kind of trace our steps back to the very beginning of this cave system, and we end up finding a route that leads us to the puzzle room. And there was more writing on the wall. It was in a language that I think only one of us spoke, Infernal or something. And we were able to find the correct pattern to slot the plates into. And a door opened up, and I'm pretty sure there was like moonlight, but there wasn't like a direct opening to outside, which was, you know, obviously strange. In there was a pedestal. There was a couple pedestals with some items on there. I think there was bracers, boots, and a bowl. I don't think there was anything else. But while we were in there, we got like what is I guess considered like a health regain. I don't think it was a short rest, but I think we got health back. And the ghosts had mentioned that they don't like the moonlight, you know, earlier, and we don't think a Gorgon could get down here, so we decided to kind of camp out in there for a little bit, catch our breath, identify some of the items that we got. We got a whole bunch of stuff that we identified from previous sessions, as well as this one. And we kind of took our pick of what we wanted. A lot of people got some really good stuff. Rounded out some of the blind spots we had. And yeah, I think from then on we decided to head out and get back on our Shaker Node quest, because we want to, you know, obviously get word back to Brave Hollow about these, you know, missing, possibly petrified students as soon as possible. We need the Shaker Nodes up to do that, so we could send messages and stuff and teleport around.
All right. Are there any other details that anyone would like to add?
No, I think they got everything. Very thorough.
We need to keep an eye out for Ilyovich and Florian, because we know that they're looking for the Shaker Nodes too.
Yes. I'll definitely watch out for them.
Would somebody like to roll a D100 for me, please?
Can I roll it?
Sure.
Yes, Cassie. Yay.
No kaijus, please.
Amazing.
Successful divine intervention.
Symmetrical
True.
All right.
Because we period.
I've always said that.
All right. I actually don't want to play anymore today, guys. Goodbye.
No. We gotta
Honestly,
find
fair enough.
food.
All right. As you all climb your way back out of the depths that you had been in for most of your day, turning your attention back to the task at hand, you find yourselves once more in the sort of small, humble camp that had been made by the explorers, the lore seekers within this area. Once more, you can see that most of their belongings remain untouched. They have left behind food and various other things, different implements. Their camp, you do notice, seems to have a little bit of water that has started to sort of ever so slightly flood the camp. Most of it drips down, almost like a falling waterfall, down into the pit where you had all just come from. And none of it seems to linger so deeply, but there's about like a half inch or so of water that does trickle through the camp.
Hmm. Is it where's it coming from? Is it coming from like the roof air ceiling area of the camp?
No, it seems to be coming from the entrance to the cave, the same place that you yourselves had all found your way and come through when you had initially entered the space. It has been several hours of your journey, and at this point in time, you feel like it's probably mid to late afternoon.
Well, water must be pretty high out there if it's starting to come through.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Are we able
Do we
to?
have the means to swim through the water if we need to, or should we just wait down here?
I
I
mean,
think usually you don't swim through like a flood because when it drains, don't it become like rapids?
that makes sense.
I'm just more worried about the room upstairs. That might be a bit flooded.
Maybe it's groundwater.
Could be. I'll be honest, I wouldn't really know.
And sorry, we're like where they set up the camp inside the cave, like not all the way down, but or no.
Yeah, you're in the area that you had jumped down from. You are up in there.
Oh, okay. Well, we should probably try to take a look, right? See how bad it is, if we can travel in it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Let's go take a look.
All right. As you all head towards the entrance of this cavern, back to where you had seen that small excavation point that you'd first entered in through, you take a peek outside and you can see that there is a level of rising water that has begun to fill the space. Before this slightly forested area that still remains somewhat coastal, almost like a rainforest, was not flooded. There was no water built up on the ground. But now, as you sort of make your way towards the opening of this excavation site, you can see that water is flowing rather freely. And in the sort of courtyard of these ruins that you had first encountered, you can see that the water reaches to about 1 or 2 inches high. It's not to the point where you'd have to swim through it, certainly not, but it is concerning that it wasn't like this several hours before.
Are there signs of it continuing to rise, the water level?
Go ahead and roll a survival check.
$15.
Taking a look over the water, you have a sense that it would probably take you a good amount of time to determine exactly how much it's rising by, but just looking at it, you have a sense that it is almost like a slow, continuous flood that seems to be reaching and extending almost inland and inward.
And it's not like it's not raining or anything outside too, is it?
No, it just seems to be uh, like slightly overcast, but mostly a sunny day.
Um, I guess I'll kind of hold out his arm and he'll summon Freya, and I will see if she can go fly above this kind of like temple site and kind of get a lay of how everything looks from higher ground, like if there's any more information we can discern from that kind of viewpoint.
All right, go ahead and roll a perception check for Freya.
Right. 18.
All right. As you send her up in the air and she circles over the sort of almost temple like ruins that you had found, she circles high up in the air, rising higher and higher. As she takes a look and stock of your surroundings, she can see that the shoreline seems to have almost been washed away. The tide seems to be rising and stretching deeper and deeper inward on the island, where before you're certain that several of these large, almost giant shells that you had seen speckling the coast that you had walked but the day before, you can see that they're almost entirely engulfed by water. From her high position up in the sky, Freya can see that more and more of the forest seems to be swallowed by the ocean as it encroaches further and further inward. She can also see from her high vantage point that just behind or beyond the ruins, there are some points where there's a sharp sort of spike in elevation, jagged stones that seem to twist and tangle, and there are portions of rock and stone and earth that seem to be almost unfettered from gravity, like they're being yanked up into the sky. But that doesn't strike you as any different than the day before. The main thing that stands out to you is that the water seems to be reaching further and further, almost as though the tide was coming in. Beyond that, what she can see as she sort of circles overhead is that up in the air, several hundred feet above her, um, there are other flying creatures. Their large shadows seem to cast down towards the land as they pass overhead, seemingly headed in a southern direction back towards the volcano, which she can see is uh, several dozen miles off from where you currently are. And
Oh.
again, that wall of fog and steam seems to rise to the south as well.
Okay. Which direction was the shaker node that we detected on top of the flying or like the floating rocks?
Where you currently are, it would probably be southeastish. At this point, there's like a large cluster of floating rocks, slightly more to the east from where you currently are. What you had initially surmised to be sort of like the eastern edge of the island, you recognize now as Freya flies higher is likely not the true edge of the island, but in fact like a false coastline caused by this encroaching water.
Okay, so the rocks that we had seen before are to the southeast, and there's more floating rocks to the east, but the actual edge of the island or the coastline, I guess, is further that way.
Yeah, you can assume that, like, where the chunks of floating islands are, like, being ripped out of the ground, there was, like, actual land. You assume that the actual land mass of the island has almost been, like, partially flooded to the point where, like, the island that you had stayed on a few days ago, for example, you assume that that's actually part of the land, the island itself, but this, like, encroaching water has, like, swallowed chunks of the island, like,
Oh,
messing with, like, where you visualize the coastline to actually be.
okay. He will kind of as this is all happening, he's trying to kind of live narrate everything that Freya sees, so he'll convey all of that to the group. I'm not really sure which way we would want to go. Um, the one shaken node that we had seen before is to the southeast, which looks like the direction that's less watery, I guess, or at least I saw these large flying creatures headed towards the south, back towards that volcano.
This is where we found the first shaker node. So we would be going back in that direction. Or similar to it, at least.
Yeah.
And where were the other two shaker nodes? Were they east, Harrison?
Yeah, they were like true east. To go and retrieve Boone, you sort of had to head in like a northwestern direction.
Okay.
So, two shaker nodes to the east, one to the southeast.
Yeah, like barely to the southeast from you.
Oh, okay. Pretty close though.
Yeah, you assume that they're like within an hour's travel of where you currently are.
Yeah, we didn't travel very far last time, from what I remember.
Yeah.
And we were quite close.
Would it be a faster journey if we flew directly?
You could assume that it would be, considering that they're like up in the air, which again is like the main sort of challenge that you foresee, based on your current position.
I mean, we could try to go for the closer shaker node today. I think I could make something for us all to fly on.
That would be very helpful. Thank you. I think that's probably the best bet. Though we need to keep in mind that the profiteers were also in that direction as well. Maybe they moved, but did Freya happen to see any of those people, or?
I'll be honest, I wasn't really having her look for that. I was mostly looking at the, environment.
Mm.
Not that I remember. I do know that before we went in, we'd seen them, kind of wading through the water. What should we do?
I think your plan is good. Fly up to the shaker node that we know of, activate that, and then figure out the plan from there. But how to reach the other two.
Is everyone
Unless
feeling
anyone else?
okay today still?
Yeah, it's doing fine.
Right, I guess if there's nothing else for us to do before we go, is there anywhere where there's like dry places for us to stand in here? Like, I don't know how wet it is.
If you head back inside the cave and you don't sort of like head out, you could, sort of like there's a slightly raised portion where like their beds and their chests and stuff were. You could go there. Alternatively, if you head outside, there are stairs that lead up to the temple, which are not fully flooded yet.
Maybe I'll go out there because I'm summoning some creatures. We'll probably need some space. So yeah, I'll try to go outside of the temple then and find a dry enough patch of land where I can at least set down a small little ritual area. Nothing crazy, just some place for him to burn some incense and set his book down.
Okay. As you sort of begin to prepare this ritual, beginning to set out your various implements, is there anything anyone else would like to do to prepare for the journey ahead?
how long is the ritual gonna be?
It just takes a minute.
Oh, okay.
Got to change Freya's shape and then summon a couple other familiars for us to ride on. Did you just want to fly yourself, like you said before? I think it.
Yeah, I'll just keep up.
Okay.
Alright, we should all stay close together in case something happens and you lose concentration. I need everyone to be close by.
Yeah, that would be good. I did see some things up in the sky. Couldn't really tell what they were, but we should try to avoid them. Maybe, I don't know, stay as low as we can until we need to go up.
That sounds like a good idea. I think we know the general direction we need to be in anyway. Boone, do you mind if I just quickly take a look at the map that you had done of the cave system?
Oh, yeah. Here, I'll pull it out.
Okay. In what
very
area
good
of the
map.
temple are we again?
Like, you are currently in the sort of area where they were originally staying before they dropped down into the pit.
Yeah, so we're not pictured on the map.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Just taking a look at the map. While Rowan is doing this. Thinking back to the mural that we had seen like up above, in that area. Just based on that, does the map like seem does like the cavernous system seem to like form any sort of like particular shape? Like, does it seem to like have any like kind of like sense to it? Do you know what I mean?
Looks
Mm.
like a
Roll investigation or arcana.
Ooh, investigation or arcana. You know what? Let's do arcana for fun. 21.
Taking a look over it, not enough of it has truly been like mapped out thoroughly for you to understand the true pattern of it. You do remember that one of the notes that you found did mention that all the caves or cavernous systems on this island all connect to one another in some way, um, whether just by like a flume, a chute, the walls touching, something to that effect. And you sort of look over the pattern and try to see if there's anything sensible to it. And something about it does stand out to you. You notice that some of the caverns, they almost seem to form like a almost like a spoke and wheel type pattern. You've seen slightly similar things in arcane etchings, but you're not sure without further evidence really what that might signify. But it does sort of look like something you would see somebody scrawl in a magical etching, at least partially.
All right. Is it similar at all to like the eye symbol with the spokes, or no? Different.
Different.
Okay. All right. It looks like this is some sort of like there's some type of arcane significance to this place. Like, I'm not entirely sure, honestly.
I mean, I kind of figured on account of all the magic puzzles and whatnot.
But I mean, like the pattern itself of how it is positioned, and how the cave system is it forms something. I can't quite make out what.
Maybe in the future we might be able to come back here at a better lay of all the caves, and maybe then we'll be able to see the arcane purpose of this place was.
I would hope so. I mean, I know people have to come back here to rescue those that are petrified down there. Rowan, how is your ritual going?
Already now. Sorry, couldn't get this incense lit. He will. He's kind of has this little bowl set out with some incense burning. He has a spell kind of to one side, and this little chalk sigil kind of quickly etched into the stone. He summons forth Freya, and he'll set her down in the center of this little sigil. Now I know you weren't super happy about what happened last time. I know this is your preferred form, and I'm sorry about that. I saw how upset it made you, so I've been working on something new. Hopefully it'll be better. And then he'll kind of reach out with one hand, and these swirling threads of kind of spirit energy will start to form around his hand and then funnel into the sigil, kind of lighting up and glowing around Freya. They let my magic be your tether for a new form that suits you better. And as this glow kind of diffuses with her form and she lights up, her form begins to stretch and extend into a larger shape. Not a fly this time, but a longer, more slender form with I think it's like a set of 4 wings, this kind of hardened purplish blue kind of almost iridescent shimmer to her form, and these very beautiful pearlescent wings. I will spend 1 spell slot to use, exactly, just like that. I'll spend 1 spell slot to use the Wild Companion feature to turn Freya into a dragonfly for the day.
All right. You all see as Freya's body begins to shift and change before your eyes. Once more, the feathers that sort of covered her form seem to shift and split, and you can see some of the owlish coloration that she had initially had begins to alter into suffuse into the form in a new way. You see as her wings extend and split off into 4, turning translucent but with a meshy pattern that resembles the feathered wings that she once had. Her beak retracts, and instead her face shifts and changes. You see antennae sort of popping off the top of her head, along with several bug-like arms and a elongated bug-like tail. She is quite large in stature as well. You can see that there isn't necessarily annoyance in Freya's face, a little bit of discomfort. You just have a sense that generally, as the spirit that she is, she's most comfortable in her own form, but this is a lot less objectionable than being a giant fly.
Well, you look great. Give us a little spin.
You see that Freya sort of gives you a look somewhere between being mortified and annoyed, and you have a sense that she will not give you a spin.
Right. Great job. Great job. Okay, let me get these other ones. He'll kind of having her step to the side, he'll kind of return his focus to that same sigil that's there, and quickly reciting the same incantation he uses for Find Familiar. At 2nd level, I will cast Flock of Familiars, and you can see kind of as he's channeling this energy a bit more powerful this time into the sigil, there's kind of a moment where he grimaces, almost like he's struggling to find enough power or to harness enough power and force a little bit extra into the spell. I will, as I'm casting that, I will expend 1 wild shape to get 2 spell weaving charges, and I will use a Weave of Transcendence to cast the spell at a higher level. So I'll cast it at 3rd level, which will allow me to summon 1 extra familiar. So I'll be able to, you can see kind of above this sigil, there's almost this like brief rippling in reality, and then 3 large dragonflies, quite similar to Freya, crawl out of this rift and take their space around us.
As these new bugs appear before all of you, you all have a sense that there is space enough for all of you together.
That's so cool, Rowan. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a new spell. I'll stay on Freya, and then there's 3 others. So they can.
Do they have names? You should know.
He'll kind of turn to the creatures. He'll speak aloud, but also voice it in his telepathic bond with them. What should we call you?
You can see each of the creatures seems almost curious. One sort of through your telepathic bond seems to send out almost like a pure thought to your mind that they are creatures that don't need to be called names, as they see no value in them.
He nods his head, and they don't really do that. They don't really have names like that, I guess. They can fly fairly fast. I think about twice as fast as Boone can normally. So we'll either have to not fly as fast as we can, or... Well, no, I think that's the only option, actually. She'll have to fly as fast as she can, and we will have to fly our normal speed.
Well, maybe could we not slow down to keep up with Boone?
Well, I think if Boone double dashes every turn, she'll keep up with our base speed.
Isn't there rules that you can only dash?
There's
for a
yeah,
certain,
she
amount of
can't
time?
double dash
Oh.
for like an hour at a
Yeah.
time.
And can Boone like hold on to one and like coast? Yeah, like when you're skating behind a car, you know, and just like grab on for a little.
Exactly like that.
So Boone could feasibly like drag along as long as she like hangs onto like 2 of them as they're flying. It's like she's
Nice.
water skiing through the air.
Yeah, well, two of us can wear like ropes around us, and she can just kind of like grab onto each of them and hang on behind.
Oh, by the way,
Just
we're
like
taking
that.
our ropes back, right, Rowan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna get killed.
All right.
Right,
Let's get
But,
on. Probably the strongest, the stronger people should have the ropes tied around them in case something happens.
Well, I'm not that strong, but I suppose I could.
I think you and probably Beacon would be best.
All right. It might be a good thing too, I guess. If my concentration does break, Freya's the only one that won't go away. So.
Oh, good idea. All right.
Uh,
Let's hop on.
I'll tie some rope around my waist and leave a long bit dangling for Boone. Yeah, so I assume Beacon will do the same, and then I will mount up and then yip yip.
Okay. As you all settle yourselves upon these large dragonfly forms, whom is riding on? Is it everybody but Boone?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Everyone but
Yeah.
Boone is a
Right.
dragonfly.
All right. As you all attach ropes to Boone and then determine that Rowan and Beacon will be hanging on to them, you begin to fly off in the direction that you had assumed the Shaker node to be in the other day. Is anybody using any magics to try to determine exactly where it is?
No.
I don't have that prepared. Does Boone still have that prepared? She's muted right
I
now.
think she had locate plants and
Do you still
animals.
look at objects, Madison?
That wasn't something that she could.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, she doesn't have it anymore. No, she could cast locate object. That's how she.
It was.
Oh,
It was locate plants. Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Well, Boone marked it on the map, and I do remember vaguely. You know, I mean, when I cast it that one time when we were on the ground, it looked like it was sort of at the top, or very high up in this chain of floating rocks. So.
Do you think you could read the map and try to guide us towards it?
Yeah, probably. I assume once we get close enough, there might be some glow like we saw at the other ones, or maybe some creatures that have been affected by its influence, like the other ones. I'll do my best. Rowan will, kind of using a mix of his own memory from where we were the last time he cast Locate Object, and using Boone's map to kind of make sure he stays in the right general direction towards the right islands, will try to navigate us.
All right, go ahead and roll a survival check, please.
14.
14, okay. You begin to guide the group in a southeastern direction. As you coast through the sky, you see a small amount of birds begin to fly around you and your group. They appear to be almost like seagulls, but with slightly longer, bright yellow beaks. They form a V formation around your group, dripping and dropping and swooping around you, moving with these sort of natural currents that flow through the air. From your elevated point, you see as the ground below begins to shrink further and further from view, and yet there's more and more for you to see. Can all of you go ahead and roll perception checks?
Yes.
Aye,
Oh, I just opened League of Legends. Oh my
aye.
god.
Someone's addicted.
And I haven't even played, that's why I'm annoyed. I'm like, I need to remove it from my hotbar.
With Rowan and Boone somewhat at the forefront of the group, looking between the map and trying to direct the group, the pair of you are slightly distracted, while the rest of your allies take a look at their surrounding environs. From the elevated position, Alexios, Rykard, and Beacon can all see much of the landscape below as it begins to shrink from view. You can all see that the ocean, as it sort of reaches further and further inward, begins to feed into the larger rivers. You don't see many animals within sight. In fact, aside from these birds that float around you, you don't see any on the mainland. However, you can see a patch where there seems to be a bunch of trees that are jostling and moving, almost as if the trees themselves are moving and dancing, trying to get away from the encroaching waters. You see a point where a raised waterfall drops off almost reddish looking water, perhaps a mix between molten lava and the sediments therein, mixing with the natural waters of this area. This large roaring waterfall extends up about almost 200 feet, following along a sharp, steep cliff face. Where at the top of it, you think you see what seems to be three large giants, or trolls or something of the like, that seem to be gathered, doing something together. They don't seem to notice you in your group. You can see that there are stretches of smaller patches of floating islands that seem to have vines stretching out back down toward the ground. And distantly, you think you all see what looks to be two climbers that seem to be climbing up a segment of those long branches and vines up towards that other patch of floating islands. You can see very, very, very distantly that raised chunk of almost sudden mountain, the Profiteers' camp that you had been in a few days before, or the day before, I should say. And beyond it, you think you see an outstretched portion of ruinous, ruins. It appears to be stone ruins that rise up high above this rainforest. You can see giant looking crab like creatures far, far off in the distance. Beyond that, not much stands out to the lot of you, except for to Rykard and Elixios, who sort of coasting on your own dragonflies, notice that there are two places up ahead where it seems viable to land on this almost stretched archipelago of floating islands. You see one that seems to be slightly higher, but there is a narrower space to land. There appear to be raised portions of rocks with long vines that stretch out from the underside of these floating islands and the jagged land they're in. That landing seems perhaps slightly more precarious, and yet you all have a sense that perhaps that section is slightly closer to where you need to go. On the other opposite hand, or rather the other hand, I should say, there seems to be a lower section of island that almost seems to have a cavernous opening where you could settle down quite easily. However, it is likely slightly further away from the original place where you expect the Shaker node to be.
What time of day is it?
At this point, it appears to be probably around mid to late afternoon.
And how long have we been flying to get to this point?
Probably about 40 minutes.
Okay.
All right, Alex will kind of pull up his dragonfly next to Rykard, and kind of like in between Rykard and Rowan. Should we go for the safer entrance over there? We have a little bit more time to get to the note. It's a little bit further off.
I guess it depends how necessary we think flying is going to be. I don't really think I can keep this spell going for much longer.
Does it look like there's a way to like get like would we need to fly any longer if we went to the lower portion? Like, is there a way to get up that doesn't involve flying?
You have a sense that you would probably have to get closer to truly see and take in your surroundings.
And then, sorry,
From this distance, it's hard to tell.
for going to the closer point, what was more precarious about it? What was more like dangerous?
The stretches of island and like the places you could land are more narrow, and they seem like more jagged.
Oh. I mean, when we get closer, I guess we could truly decide, but it might be better to just go closer to the node. I mean, surely it can't be that hard to land, right?
I've never landed one of these things, so I have no idea.
Yeah, me either, actually.
But let's get a bit closer and see just how bad it is.
All right, so you're aiming for the lower section?
I think we just want to like get a little bit closer to either of them.
Okay. So as you drift a little bit closer, you travel for about 5 or so more minutes. At that point in time, the gulls around you seem to suddenly break from following you, veering off suddenly, almost as if they had been called away by something. As you take a look off at the horizon, distantly through that fog, where there's almost a demarcated difference between the biomes of this island, Elixios, you notice a dark shadow that appears extremely large, larger than anything you've ever seen, and yet you cannot see its true form beyond that fog. And yet your attention is drawn back to the islands, the quarry with which you seek. Looking towards them, you have a sense that the slightly lowered island seems to connect to the raised portion. You see that there are stretches of long vines and chunks of earth that seem to stretch between the two, although travel over them appears as though it may be precarious in its own right. The raised portion appears jagged and narrow, partially crumbling. As you fly closer, you can see segments of it crumble away just from the battering force of the high winds at this high altitude, whereas the lowered section appears to be more structurally sound. You can see that there's almost a natural landing point, a carved out cave looking space on the underside of the lowered island. You can see that there's some sort of movement within that cavernous space, however.
Sorry, there's some type of what in the cavernous space?
Movement.
Oh.
Mm,
It does seem like there are some people in the caverns there. Or something.
Madison, I think it's just like the higher point is closer to the shaker node, but it's more dangerous for us to land. It's very jagged. And the lower place is safer for us to land, but it's farther away. But it's all floating islands. So we would have to land at the lower place and then like try to climb our way up, or chance trying to land on these like crumbling jagged areas. Does anybody have a preference if we take a quick vote?
uh, maybe we go to the. I think maybe we go to the lower area. No, there is movement down there, but like,
But this could be someone that could help us.
yeah, it could. Well, you know the profiteers are around here, though.
That's true. But I think it's safer to land in that spot. I would land in the lower area as long as there's a way to get up there to the rest of the shaken wood.
Yeah, as long as our path
Yeah.
isn't cut off, I
Yeah,
agree.
let's.
Go low.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
main
let's-
thing. Like, if we need to fly up again, it's going to be a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go lower then. Yeah.
All right. Are you headed for the lower island then?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. As you begin to guide your dragonflies in that direction, you all sort of prepare yourselves for the landing. The shadows that Alexios vaguely sees in the cavern, although it's hard to make them out perfectly, appear to be humanoid as they move about. As you begin to approach, is there any additional preparations you want to do before landing?
Oh god.
Hope for the best. Trying to find a good spot to land.
Yeah, I don't really got a lot I can do. I guess just be ready for shit to hit the fan and find a good spot to land.
All right. As you prepare yourselves to land, let's take a quick 5-minute break. I just have to run to the washroom.
Okay.
Okay.
Is everybody back?
Yeah. Never left.
All right.
Yeah, I'm back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you all make your way into the cavern, you can sort of see the sort of almost telltale signs that there's only about a minute or so left of magic keeping these flying creatures afloat. You have a sense that you likely won't have too much more time that you can spend on the backs of these flying dragonflies. As you begin to sort of swerve towards this almost open cavernous space, you weave your way through onto the underside almost of this large island that floats through the air. You can see that there are sections of almost like waterfalls that are rolling off of it. And as they sort of drift down towards the ocean below, they seem to almost break off into this flying spray of mist that seems to come off of the uh, sort of bottom of this cavernous space. As you fly through a wall of mist and begin to rise up into the cavern, Alexios keeps a keen eye out, trying to spot the humanoids that could be giving off those shadows. But looking closer, Alexios, as you all veer into this cavern, you don't see people, although you do see humanoid shadows. In the
Oh,
place where you expected to see humanoids, people moving around, instead, you see these strange creatures whose attention almost immediately seems to be drawn towards the lot of you. They have large blue and red wings with an orangish, almost glorious mane, strange faces that appear to be a mix between that of a bird and a stag like creature, and long, curled back antelope like horns. Alexios, as you're the person who spotted them, you can go ahead and roll a nature check to try to see if you recognize what these creatures are.
these sound sick as hell. I hope they're our friends. I doubt it. No.
Alexios, you have never seen beasts or creatures that look like this before. And you notice that as your group sort of veers into the cavern, that their attention seems to immediately be drawn towards all of you. But most specifically, it seems to be drawn towards yourself and Rykard, almost as though their eyes seem to lock directly towards the pair of you. You notice as you sort of come into this space that there are several of them that pop into view. Let me move them over to your layer. Beyond that, what immediately becomes apparent as you veer towards this cavern um, is that there seems to be large sort of chunks of meat and flesh and various organs and viscera that are splattered all over this cavern.
Okay, those do not look friendly. And I'll kind of turn back to Rykard. I would stay on guard. They're looking at us a little bit closely.
Noted.
As you all begin to veer towards the cavern, trying to find a place to sort of land your creatures that you're floating upon. Immediately, one of these creatures begins to swoop in your direction. It flies directly at you, Alex. I need everybody to go ahead and roll initiative, please.
Put
Yeehaw.
on my token, but I don't have rights yet.
Okay, give me
Oh,
1 second. I'll
God.
assign that first.
Hey.
Right, where are we? There we are.
Hello. What color is concentration? Yellow or pink?
8, because I ate.
Yellow.
Period.
Not again.
Before you head into combat, did I get inspiration from the thing?
Yes, you always just get it naturally from doing the
From the
recap.
thing.
The recap.
The thing with the stuff.
Oh, the thing with the stuff.
The stuff with
That
the
one.
Thing
thing.
with the stuff.
The stuff with the thing.
You know,
Yeah,
it's got
yeah.
the
You know. Oh boy.
I think Boone needs manually added to the initiative.
Okay.
Okay. Where am I?
Oh yeah, Beacon does too.
Yeah.
All right, so let me do that. Okay. So, as you all sort of swoop, that's not a word. As you swoop into this cavern, you all have a sense that there's a limited amount of time that you'll be able to stay on your floating steeds. You have a sense that it'll be a minute at the absolute most. And as this creature swoops towards, directly towards Alex, it is going to have to hold off on its attack as it moves towards him. Looking over this creature, though, as it approaches you, Alex, you can see that its mouth opens, and within its mouth is this strange combination of like sharp, almost wolfish teeth and like jagged, flat, like equine teeth, like the kinds that you would see on a deer or on a horse. You can see that its wings are purplish, red, and blue, and have the elegant feathering of an eagle. But as it drifts towards you and light is cast, and so is shadow, you can see that the shadow that sort of stretches off behind it appears to look almost like a human man jumping towards you. All right, at the top of initiative, or actually, Rykard, what is your dexterity score?
16.
16. Okay, you go before the first of these creatures. You see that one of them swoops immediately towards Elixios. The others seem to be readying themselves to jump and move towards you. You can see Rykard, the one that swooped towards Alex, seem to move extremely fast. And you can see sharp talons and strange teeth going right towards your friend's face.
Already. What's my movement speed right now?
Whatever the movement speed of the dragonfly you're on is.
Oh, 60. Sorry.
60. Okay, cool. All right, so, Alex, you see and you feel over your shoulder as these small beads of fire sort of whiz by your head, and they're like concentrated orbs of flame that almost look like molten glass, or these beads of red hot metal that whiz by, and they begin to orbit around the creature in front of you that's trying to attack you. I will cast the Hex spell from my feet. And then I will cast, along with the, those flaming beads that go by you, you see a familiar spell, Eldritch Blast, whiz by your head, and strike the creature in front of you.
Duck my head.
Alrighty.
All right, go ahead and roll to hit. I'd say that it probably has support or cover from Alex being right there.
Oh shit! I don't know why I rolled twice. Well, 9.
Okay, a 9, which I believe it gets. Let me just check quarter cover really fast. I believe the quarter cover actually doesn't mean anything. I think it's just half and 3/4 or full. Yep. All right. So a 9 unfortunately does not hit. As you send the bolt flying towards it, it nimbly almost like folds its wings in on itself and does a barrel roll in the air as it continues to coast in Alex's direction. Anything else on your turn, right card?
Yeah. So 60 feet. I'm gonna try and get. I don't want to do that. I'll get right there with 40 feet, just so I can get on the rock and, not be floating in the air on Dragonfly.
All right. As you fly off in that direction, you should be able to move your token.
Yeah, I'll be right here.
Okay. All right. As you drift off in that direction, and sort of like settle, are you trying to land the dragonfly, or are you just like hovering over the ground?
I'll hover for now.
All right. As you hover, and sort of like settle yourself into place, it is now the turn of this distant-seeming bird-like creature. It is going to fly, heading off immediately. Rapidly, it beats its wings, this one off in this direction, flies directly towards you, Rowan. It lets out a shrieking cry with its talons coming towards you. It is also going to try to snap at you with its mouth. It is going to make one gore attack against you and one talon attack against you, Rowan. All right,
Both miss.
10 and a 13. Okay. As it attempts to come towards you, both its claws and its sharp but also jaggedly flat teeth coming towards you, how do you dodge its attack?
Kind of not really having like any sort of like harness or anything on Freya. He'll just kind of duck down and wrap his arms around her and try to like hug to her form and signal her to bob and weave a little bit.
All right. As it drifts towards you, coming to attack you, you sort of just barely are able to dodge, grabbing onto Freya as tightly as you can. Your spiritual companion moves and obliges, attempting to avoid the attacks. Immediately, at initial bombardment, another one of these creatures begins to fly forward. This one is going to fly towards. It is going to fly towards Alex, and as it drifts by, flying by Boone, you attempt to swing towards it, but it just moves too fast and does a flyby, passing by you so quickly. It then attempts to attack Alex twice, once with a gore attack, once with its talons. All right, that's a 19 to hit with the gore attack and a 10 with the talons.
You know what? I'm gonna silvery barbs the gore attack there.
All right, it will attempt to attack once more. All right.
Okay, so it's still a 19.
19. Yes.
Yeah, the 19 will hit.
Alrighty. So it moved over 30 feet towards you. As it did, it drifts and it attacks you
And I'll give myself
very
advantage.
viciously. Yeah.
Sorry.
So you take, because it moved 30 feet towards you, you take that second number, the 16 points of piercing damage.
Ouch. Okay.
All right. As it sort of like sinks its like strange toothy maw, it grabs and attempts to like grab onto your arm. It closes its teeth around your arm and almost attempts to drag you off of your flying compatriot, but you manage to just barely cling on, Alex. It is sort of going to settle there. Beacon, you are on deck. Or rather, you're up with Boone on deck.
Oh. Okay,
Very-
cool. How bad is Alex looking?
Alex looks pretty bad. He has got a huge chunk of.
Oh dang. Okay.
Of himself ripped out right there.
We'll use my action, and Beacon will kind of will grab your arm, and I will cast Cure Wounds on you. Hold on. Cast for me. Okay,
Ooh.
you get 18 points back, so basically everything that guy did. And then I'm going to say I think I have an idea. Everyone get them to as close as possible. And I'm going to try to get over here. Yeah. I'll move this way.
All right, you'll take 2 opportunity attacks as you move.
Oh shoot, you're so right.
All right,
Okay.
so here is the first attack of opportunity. That's a 10 to hit, which I don't believe hits you. As the first one,
Nope.
whose attention was just sort of settled on Alex, sort of lets go of its beaky grip on his arm. It attempts to snap towards you instead, but you manage to move. Then the second one, an 8, similarly unable to hit you properly as you fly off and over to the rocky sort of shore of this island.
Can you put a dot on this bottom one for hex, just so I can keep track?
Did you hex it?
Yes.
Okay.
Horrible.
Alrighty. Anything else on your turn, Beacon?
Oh no, that's all. That's all.
All right.
Sorry.
Boone, what would you like to do on your turn? That's perfect. All right, you fly off in that direction, sort of moving towards where Rykard and Beacon are. All right, you see the bird off in the distance. And you attempt to cast Earthbind on it. As you sort of reach your hand off towards it, concentrating on the spell, you attempt to stretch out this yellow, almost tethering energy towards that creature. It must make a strength saving throw. Okay, that is a 9, which I believe fails against your spell save DC. All right. So as you sort of send those tendrils of energy off towards it, it is sort of entangled within the magic. It is immediately strapped back down to the ground. You are now concentrating on Earthbind. Okay. Any bonus actions on your turn? Okay. All right. In that case, is this Periton? Down here's turn. This one here, its attention sort of turning towards the lot of you who have begun to land. It is going to swoop and it's going to fly by past you, Boone, and land sort of directly between you and, or sorry, directly to the side of you and Rykard, and is attempting to attack Rykard. As it swoops down, it is going to try to do a Gore and a Talon attack against Rykard. All right, that is an 8 on the Gore attack, but an 18 on the Talons.
Yeah, 18 hits.
All right, so as it swoops out towards you, it attempts to snap its mouth around you, but you nimbly dodge out of the way as best as you can on the back of your flying creature. But then it sort of sinks its talons deep into your sort of meaty skin of your thigh, and it sort of tears back, and you feel like a chunk of your flesh pulled off of you. And there's the searing heat of pain as it does 6 points of piercing damage to you, Rykard. All right, that's its... All right, so do you have Warcaster, or are you using your
Eldritch Mind?
Okay, does that allows you to do concentration checks at advantage?
Correct.
All right, so you maintain concentration for now. All right, it is now the turn of, where is this one? Oh, I just deleted one of them by accident from initiative. I believe it was this one's turn up here. Let me just check. Yeah, it was this one up here's turn. It had a 12 initiative. Does it get to repeat its save on Earthbind at the start or the end of its turn at all? Boom. Doesn't say on the spell.
No.
Creature affected by the spell. So I guess it just stays bound?
Until the spell
That's kinda
ends.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Okay, well, it can't do anything because its speed is reduced to 0, so it remains there, inert and unmovable. Rowan, it is your turn with Elixios on deck.
Okay. Kind of seeing the one that has approached him and is trying to strike at him, Rowan will kind of steady himself on top of Freya. He'll close his eyes and kind of hold one hand aloft with his palm open, and he tries to focus on the sensation that he felt when we were fighting the profiteers in the forest, and one of them tried to cast the spell to influence him. And this tendril of spirit energy kind of pours from his chest, kind of beginning to swirl in his hand, and this yellow thread of air kind of mixes in with that, and as he focuses, it seems to tighten up and sharpen into this almost needle-like shape. As he stretches his hand out, this tendril of woven together magical energy pierces the forehead of the, what are they, Periton? Is that what they are?
Yes, although you don't recognize this creature.
Right. The big scary bird weird thing. It
Exactly.
pierces its forehead, and he'll just shout out the command that was attempted on him, and he'll just grovel, and I'll try to cast command.
Hey, let me do a wisdom save.
Yes.
5.
That is a fail. So the target has the prone condition and will end its turn. So I think when they're flying,
Just fall.
That makes them fall.
So this one here immediately starts to fall, descending 60 feet.
Just kind of looks over the edge of Freya. Sorry. Then I'll heal off. I will fly. Let's see. It looks like there's none down here. So yeah, he'll just kind of go pretty much straight south. But let's see. How many squares in between? Yeah, I'll just go straight down because I don't want to fly in range of that other one. And then he'll land right here. He'll kind of set Freya down, and then he'll hop off of her.
All right. Elixios, you are up.
All right, and Beacon said he wanted them closer, right?
Yeah.
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 All right. So knowing that these two are probably going to chase after him, and knowing that they already took attacks of opportunity against Beacon, Alex is going to fly straight towards Beacon, like so. Down here. Okay. And then Beacon beside you. Alex is actually first going to turn his head around, having felt like that shadowy kind of figure almost leap off the bird. Like, does it seem like there's like a humanoid like behind him?
Roll an investigation check.
Is this an action or bonus action?
It would be a bonus action if you want to see.
Oh, so I can't just feel someone's there? Okay.
Nope. Gotta use the, I believe it's search action if you want to try to find out.
Okay, what I'm going to try to do instead then, if that's possible, is where I remember like seeing that. So I think it was behind me. Or it must have been. I'm just going to use my bonus action then to just telekinetically shove anything that's behind me, but like as I'm like flying here to see if I can like push it off to the ground.
All right. Nothing seems to happen.
Okay. All right, then I'll just use my bonus action to do that. Fly over towards Beacon. Yeah, and then I guess seeing this one over here, or yeah, I think it's the only one that can. Yeah, seeing this one right up next to Rykard, I would like to cast Dissonant Whispers at it.
Okay. Go ahead, or it's a wisdom save on its part, right?
Wisdom save, that's right.
Alrighty. That is a
It's
7.
going to be a failure. So it is going to take 3d6 points. So that's 18 psychic damage. And
Okay.
it has to use as much movement as it allows to fly away from Boone and Rykard.
Okay, and that's its reaction.
Yes.
If it already used its reaction,
Did it?
yeah, it used its reaction to attack Beacon.
Not that one. I thought these two.
Which one are you pointing at?
This one.
Oh, okay. Okay, in that case, that one will fly 60 feet, and it'll move as far away as it can directly, which will be right to the edge of the map as it sort of immediately begins to fly off in this direction. It sort of lets out a shriek of almost confusion. You can see that, like, its beating wings, the movement of it seems almost like jostled and confused.
Would Boone and Rykard get opportunity attacks or no?
No, because it has flyby,
flyby.
but also this is forced movement.
No, it doesn't. It's not forced movement with dissonant whispers. I don't think, because it still willingly does it.
Okay, well, regardless, it has flyby.
Yeah, it does a flyby. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay, next up is this one down here, the hexed one. It is going to sort of fly directly towards Rykard. As it does, it is going to again make the same 2 attacks. That's an 8 and a 17 to hit.
17 will hit.
All right. Again, this one sort of swooping towards you, attempts to go this time for your shoulder. It barely manages to scrape deeply with the talons directly into your shoulder, right card. Its sort of strange, fiendish, almost eyes boring into your own.
Shit. All good.
All right. As you sort of continue your best to focus on your own sort of concentration with your attack, we return to the top of initiative with Rykard.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Sort of frustrated with missing the first attack and now getting ripped apart by seemingly 2 different birds, having a hard time keeping track of how many things there are in here. He's going to try and point blank Eldritch Blast. So that would be at disadvantage. Oh my god, man. What is going on today? Yeah, it misses.
All right, as you attempt to sort of like shoot this like point blank range Eldritch Blast with this bird sort of flapping its wings violently in your face and its talons sort of sinking into your shoulder, you are unable to hit the creature, and your blast goes flying across the chasm. And as it smashes into the a chunk of stone across the way, you see as in a fiery burst it seems to crumble away. Anything else on your turn, Rykard?
I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else I can do with my bonus action.
All right. Okay. Back at the top of initiative after Rykard is this bird that was falling 60 feet. I believe with command, the command only lasts 1 turn. Is that correct, Chris?
Yes, you're muted.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, it does that action and then it's done.
All right, so this bird that was dropping 60 feet is going to use its action to dash. So it'll use its normal movement to fly back up 60, and then it will begin to fly somewhere almost like chasing after all of you. It is going to fly towards Elixios, again, sort of swooping around Beacon to get back over there with like a shrieking caw as it swoops towards all of you. All right. After that one is this one centrally here. It is going to fly on its turn, moving directly towards Rowan. As it flies towards you, Rowan, it is going to attempt to do both of its attacks against you. 21 on both to hit.
Oh. Yeah, those will hit.
All right, as it moves over 30 feet, its attacks are more vicious. You'll take 12 plus 9 points of piercing damage. That is 21 points of piercing damage.
Okay. I guess I'll make a save and I'm gonna drop the spell. Was it for both attacks? So 19 and then 16?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, and that
Which
was...
both succeeds. The concentration succeeds on both.
I'm sorry, it's 12 plus 4 plus 9?
No, it is 12 plus 9.
Okay.
The 4 is if they don't move 30 feet.
Oh, okay, got you. Right, that's a lot of damage.
All right. As it sort of like flaps its wings aggressively in your face, sinking its talons and its strange beak towards you, Beacon, you are up with Boone on deck.
Okay. They're not really coming together the way I want, but that's okay. I'm going to use sleep anyway on one of them. I think, yeah, the one that's close to Rykar, because I've seen him take a few hits. Yeah, I'm gonna hold my hand out and I'm gonna cast sleep on this Periton.
Okay. Can you send the description for sleep once more?
I sure can. How do I do that? Here we go. So I think it has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Or it becomes incapacitated. Okay, that's a 10, which I believe fails.
Yes, it does.
All right, so this one here becomes incapacitated, and then at the end of its next turn, it must repeat the save, and if it fails the second one, it returns unconscious. So I'll mark that it's incapacitated with a green dot.
Okay. And I don't really have any bonus actions I can do. So I'm just gonna. That's it. I'm gonna cast sleep.
All right, any movement for you at all?
Yes, actually, yeah. I'm going to see if I can make my way closer to Rowan. So I use my movement to go like this way.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, this one's going to take an attack of opportunity against you.
Keep forgetting that attack of opportunities exist. But yeah.
That's a 15 to hit.
Misses.
All right, as it attempts to sink its strange teeth into your armor, you easily shove it off and continue to rush towards Rowan. All right, Boone, you are up. All right, you're going to attempt to do it against this one here. Okay, looking at the incapacitated condition, it doesn't say that you get advantage. It just says no actions or reactions for that creature. So normal roll as you did. 25 against it will definitely hit. Okay. And did you want to do this one here, or did you want to do the one that's beside right card? The one that's near Alex. Okay. Alrighty. You send a fiery bolt towards this Periton. It's sort of like a big burst of flame seems to come off of its feathers, and it lets out a shrieked squawk, but its attention and its anger seems still focused on Alex for now. Okay, and then you're back up. Sounds good. Any bonus actions for you? All right. Okay. It is now the turn of this one who moved all the way up here. Does Dissonant Whispers last for more than one turn, Sam, or is it just the one?
No, it's just once, just a one-time thing.
All right. This one's sort of immediately going to use its movement. It's going to swoop back towards Rykard. Coasting back towards Rykard, it is going to attempt to make its 2 attacks. 13 and a 24.
Both of those miss.
The 24 misses.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the 11. 24 hits.
All right. These talon attacks are definitely hitting, but the gore ones aren't hitting you. Again, you sort of like smack away the bird as its mouth comes towards you, but get caught sort of directly in the middle of a vein on your forearm as its talon sinks deep. It sort of slices its talon upward, and you take 11 points of piercing damage.
Alrighty.
All right, this one over here thrashes uselessly against its bonds, unable to move. It sort of just continues to thrash, its face sort of set against the cold and wet stones of this space. Rowan, you're up with Alex on deck.
Oh god. So we haven't seen any of these things die yet, right? This is all 5 that were originally there.
Mhm.
What is the most hurt one?
The most hurt one appears to be this one over by Alex.
And how hurt does it look?
Would you like to roll a medicine check to try to see if you can surmise?
No.
It'll be your bonus action.
It's okay. I don't think Rowan would anyway. Okay. So that didn't feel good. Rowan is definitely hurting. I think that was just a lot of damage. Okay. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. I'll just chance it. I think, kind of recovering from those wounds, he kind of quickly slaps a hand over them, trying to stop some of the blood. But he tightens his grip on the new staff. Well, I guess he's not attuned to it, so he on his staff he tightens his grip, and these threads of earth magic, these green swirls of energy, begin to funnel up from the rocks that he's standing on and suffuse with his staff. I will use my bonus action to cast Shillelagh. And then kind of giving it all he can with as much energy as he has, just like, hey, wait for me, and I'll swing the staff. I'll try to attack the boyo in front of me.
All right, go ahead and roll to hit.
25.
All right, as you crack your staff against it, you can see that the bird immediately seems to almost have its like bell rung. As you can see, its like head begins to shake. Oddly enough, you see like the slight shadow that's being cast off of it seems to be almost like humanoid, almost like a person jumping towards you, like they're about to attack you. And you can see that the creature sort of rocks its head back and forth and turns its attention back up as though it's ready to strike you once more.
Does it look like that hurt? 11 damage?
It does look like it hurt. It doesn't look like it like did so much damage that this thing's like on death's door though.
Okay, I didn't think so. He'll just kind of take a few cautious steps away a little bit, not fully stepping away, but just kind of sidestepping a little, seeing that beacon is coming closer, and then he'll just go, little help, and that's it.
Yep, I'm on my way. Running.
All right. Okay. As you sort of move a little bit, Alexios, you are up.
Okay. Seeing. Okay. I think bonus action. What Alex will do, is he'll use some of that kind of is like a shadow energy coming from like this creature now, like in front of me, or was it just that one time when they were like when it looked like a humanoid was jumping over?
Looking at it, you sort of look at it, and the shadow that comes off of this creature, like its shadow, seems to be that of a person.
Oh, okay, it's shadow itself. Got it. All right, so I'll try to take some of that essence of that shadow, just for flavor, using my innate sorcery ability. So I will activate that. Okay, let me just change my character sheet here. All right. Yeah, and seeing it in my face over here, I will use my action to cast Mirror Image. So I believe 3 illusory duplicates will appear around Alex. One taking on like a little bit more of a blue hue, an orange hue, and then like almost like a little bit of a darker hue, and they all kind of like merge into each other and around him as my action. And then for my movements, I'll begin to fly over here in this direction since that one had already taken its attack of opportunity. Just to be a little bit closer to Rowan and Beacon over here on this side.
Mm-hmm. Are you using your dragonfly to fly?
Yes.
Okay.
The 60 feet.
All right. As you sort of fly off, it is now the turn of this partially incapacitated bird. It needs to make another wisdom save to see if it falls
Yes.
unconscious. That's a 20.
Ah. Yeah, well, yeah, that definitely passes. What happens? I think it's... Is it still capacitated? Hold on. The end of its next term, at which point, if it fails the second save, the target has... Okay, conscious. A spell ends on a target. If the damage... If it
I
takes
believe
damage
that
or
it
someone within 5 feet
stays
takes
incapacitated
damage.
because you're maintaining concentration on it. So I think until your
Yes.
concentration is broken or it is damaged in some way, it remains incapacitated.
Yeah,
But I don't think it needs to
that
keep
sounds
doing
right.
saves. All right.
I believe that is correct.
Back at the top of initiative order, we have Rykard and then several of the birds.
Alrighty, so this bird is still asleep, right?
So it's not asleep, it is incapacitated.
Okay. Actions, reactions. Okay. Yeah, so with that last kind of volley attacks, he threw up his arms and got super scraped up and cut up. You see the cigarette he had in his mouth fell to the floor, and at that he gets a little angry. And you see him do this big puff and puff, and these sparks start to emit from his wounds and his scrapes, and you see this like jet of fire come out from his wounds, and they start to heal up a little bit. I will use my healing hands ability on myself to get back some health as a bonus action. No, that's a once per long rest. That's a magic action.
So if it's your magic action, then it's your action.
It's an action. Action.
Yeah.
Well, forget what I just said. That would have been cool. I'm not going to do that. Holding up his arms. After that volley of attacks, Sigurd gets knocked out. All the same stuff. Looking back at Alex while he's sort of trying to guard his face. Alex, you feel... it's like a slight headache for like 1 second. One severe headache for 1 second. And as you cast your mirror image, Rykard kind of smiles through the blood, and he will cast mirror image as well.
All right, as you begin to be
So,
surrounded
yeah.
by your own illusory duplicates, there suddenly appears to be like several more people running around all over the area. More ASMRs have joined the field.
Yeah. That's my action. I think that's all I got for now.
All right, any movement for you, Rykard?
No, I'm gonna stay right here.
All right, staying sort of fixed in place. It is now this partially injured bird's turn. This Paraton's going to fly towards Boone, and it is going to attempt to do his, its gore and talon attacks against Boone as it swoops towards her. All right, that is a 13 and a 23 to hit.
The 23 hits. Becca just got out of her meeting.
Boone's
Alrighty.
alive.
As it attempts to
Yay.
swoop towards you, it sinks its talons directly into you, and it tears a chunk off. You take 11 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a concentration save, please.
Yeah. Con save or con check?
So it is a con save.
Okay. 8. I drop concentration.
So you drop concentration on Earthbind. This one up here will no longer be sort of restrained and held in place by the magic of the Earthbind. All right. Okay, after that one, it is now this Paraton down here that's sort of been attacking Rowan. It is sort of seeing Alex rushing by, Beacon coming towards it. It is just going to move ever so slightly, not leaving your melee, Rowan. As it sort of circles you, it is going to attempt to do its 2 attacks against you still.
Ooh, he
All right.
pulls up his shield and blocks them this time.
All right, as it sort of attempts to attack you, pushing up against you, you hold up your shield and sort of like beat it back ever so slightly. Doing your best, Beacon, you are up. Boone on deck.
Okay, cool. Sorry. All right. Well, I'm going to. I forgot I could do this. Okay, I'm going to run, up to it, and I'm going to attack it with my axe.
All right, go ahead and roll the hit.
Okay. It does a 22 hit.
22 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. 9 slashing damage. And I would also like to use my shield bash ability. So this creature has to make a strength saving throw against me.
Okay, strength saving throw. Strength. It's a 22.
22. Okay, it passes.
Does it have to do anything against your topple? Because topple automatically occurs, right?
Yes, it does.
Is that another strength save?
I think. Topple. First, a con save.
Con save. Okay. That is a 10.
It fails.
All right, so it
okay, well,
falls
so that
prone,
does
right?
what I wanted anyway. Yeah, so it falls prone.
All right. The bird sort of, as you like swoop around it, it's almost like it gets like spun around on your battle axe and gets forced down to the ground just by like the centrifugal force forcing it downward.
Hey.
Anything else on your turn, Beacon?
No.
All right, Beacon, you are
No.
up. Or sorry, Boone.
I am Boone. I not looking good. So I am going to cast. My spells, there they are. At first level, I'm going to cast Thunder Wave on this one directly in front of me to get it away from me.
Alrighty. Is that a con save on its part?
It is a yes.
Okay.
A con save DC 14.
13, which just fails.
Nice. Okay, so it takes, what did I roll? 13 thunder damage.
All right.
Push 10 feet.
And as its sort of limp body goes flying back, the suddenly shaking force of the thunder wave overtaking this creature, you see like blood sort of comes out of like the sides of its head. How would you like to describe the death of this creature?
I would like the force that I kind of expel outwards from my hands, kind of like using the force in Star Wars, to be so intense that you can see like the waves of it ripple outwards, to the point where you see the bird try to resist it, and then it falls and it's bashed against this rock right here as it's pushed away.
All right, as it is cracked back against this rock, you see like with a surprising amount of force and I suppose brutality, its limp body sort of flops into the water, and then you see like it starts to like drift ever so slightly down the water before it gets caught over here. Anything else on your turn, Boone?
That was my action, and for my bonus action, I am going to wild shape into a boar again.
All right. We're going to mark that. I'll give you this red dot to show that you are wild shaped.
And I'm going to move up here by Rykard, so I don't know if they have any kind of pack tactic advantage or anything, but try and negate that.
All right, as you sort of rush forward as a boar towards Rykard, it is now the turn of this one directly above Rykard. It is going to attempt to cleave directly into him once more. Again, doing both of its attacks here. Okay, a 23 and a 13 to hit.
I think I gotta roll a d6 for mirror image. Give me a second.
Yeah, that's right. And it's only if it hits, so just on the first one.
Okay, yeah. Just the first. Okay, yeah. So, d6. 1. What does that mean?
It should say in the spell. You could link it. Maybe.
Yeah, so if any of the d6s rolls a 3 or higher, one of the duplicates is hit instead of yours, so that one still hits you.
Yep, so I got hit. So that was, what was damage with that?
So on that one, it would be 4 points of piercing damage because it didn't fly to get you.
Okay. All right.
As it sort of sinks its teeth into like the side of your neck, it suddenly beats its wings, sort of seeing this giant boar approaching it. It suddenly seems like oddly scared, and it's going to swoop away. And using flyby, it's going to fly off in the direction of Beacon. So it is going to fly over towards Beacon, suddenly swooping away as the sort of pestilent boar approaches it. All right, up after that one is now this one up here that was previously held down. It is going to fly towards you, Rykard, and it is going to also do an attack. Both of its attacks against you. Boone, can you go ahead and roll either a nature check or an investigation check?
Yes.
First one misses, and the second one hits one of my clones.
All right, so one of your duplicates, sort of like shuddering illusorily, suddenly vanishes from sight as it is hit. Boone, you notice in your piggish, boorish form that these creatures seem oddly drawn very much specifically towards Rykard and Elixios, and you're not entirely sure why, but they seem very intent on chasing those two in particular.
They like them skinny.
All right. After that, Paraton actually it's going to use a little bit more of its movement and using flyby. I believe it used 30 to reach Rykard, and it is going to use its last sort of 20 to get a little bit further away. Or sorry, yeah, it's going to use 20 more. It has more movement than that, but I don't want to use it. All right, Rowan, you are up with Elixios on deck.
Okay, feeling a moment of relief, seeing Beacon come join and help him, but then feeling that go away as another one also joins to help. I'll step down here. although flanking isn't a thing, you know, still feeling like it makes sense tactically, Rowan will kind of step directly on the other side. That nature energy is still imbued in his staff, and he'll kind of draw it up and then just smash the blunt end of it down on the creature, or attempt to.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
13.
One prone.
Oh, is this the?
Yes, this one is prone, so you get advantage on it.
Oh, legend. Wait a minute. So 15?
15 definitely hits.
Bet. So 13 bludgeoning, smash into it.
As you sort of crack the staff against it, you can see that there's like weird greenish blood starts to sort of fly off of it where it's injured. You can tell that it's still up and moving, but it is quite heavily damaged.
Like grimaces. What are these things? Oh, bonus action. Well, actually, there's not a lot I can do with that. Then prone. Prone can still make attacks of opportunity, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Is it at disadvantage for them?
I don't believe so. Let me check really fast. Scroll down. Okay. Yeah, it has disadvantage on attack rolls. So it would still be able to make an attack of opportunity, but it would be a disadvantage against you.
See, I'm thinking about it, but that does feel risky. Yeah, I guess I'll move then. He'll kind of staying close to it, kind of still staying on guard. He'll sidestep around it, and kind of move a little bit closer to Beacon, kind of, you know, putting his back or his side to him a little bit, just for a little more protection, and that'll be my turn.
All right. Alexios, you are up with one of the birds on deck.
All right. And it's only when they fly towards us that they like do the extra damage, right?
Yes, that's what it seems like.
Okay, that's what we've seen so far. Okay, cool. Okay. So I think for my action, what I am going to do is you'll see Alex will kind of look over towards the right card, and he'll hold both hands up, and you'll see a blue like spark of flame and then an orange spark of flame hold up in his hands, and then he's going to so it's like a double cast of Sacred Flame that I have with the Lunar Sorcerer. So like I can cast Sacred Flame on 2 targets if they're within 5 feet of each other.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, pretty neat. So I'm gonna do that. If this one's prone, does it have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws? Because I feel like it should.
It has no. It does not.
That's lame.
I believe that's
Respectfully,
like
Wizards of the Coast.
that's like restrained gives you that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but can they please make dexterity saving throws?
Yes, they may. All right. So the first one will be for the one up top, and the next one will be for the one on the bottom.
15 fails and 11 fails. So they are both going to take first one up top takes 5 points of radiant damage, and the bottom one takes 4.
All right, the one on the bottom. Would you like to describe how it meets its end?
Okay. Yeah. So, as the radiant energy goes steering towards it, it actually doesn't necessarily hit the creature, but I want to attack like that shadow, like the shadow behind it, and I want that to kind of light up and ignite in flames behind it.
Okay,
Falls
as
to
you
the
sort of
ground.
like, it's almost as though the shadow itself seems to burn up, and then from there, the creature seems to almost topple down, almost as though like some portion of its life force or something like was yanked away from it. As it sort of falls, barely collapses from its already prone position on the ground.
Okay. And then... Sorry, I didn't think about my bonus action. All right, and just confirm the radiant damage didn't do anything like extra to it, did it by any chance?
Not at all. Does not
Not at all.
seem to
Okay.
do anything special to it.
Yeah, anything special. Okay, cool. Yeah, I will hold off on that. Not that I really think it will matter, but just for fun, I will bonus action try to telekinetically shove this one, or actually, no, it has to be within 30 feet. So yeah, so it would have to be this one. Yeah, I'll try to telekinetically shove that one away from Beacon and Rowan.
All right. Does it get a save?
Strength, please.
Strength. Okay. That's
Failure.
14.
Failure. So it is going to be boop, knocked out.
Okay, just 5 feet, right?
Yeah, just 5 feet.
All right. As it gets booped a little bit away, this one over here remains incapacitated, so it just remains there as it is. And back at the top of initiative, Rykard, you are up.
Pretty woozy, pride damaged. Hasn't been able to do much this fight. Kind of through one eye, looking down the expanse. He will raise up a shaky hand and attempt to Eldritch Blast this one that they're engaged with over here.
All right, go ahead and roll the hit.
At 20.
There you go.
Let's go.
So that'll be, Jesus Christ, that's max damage, I think. 27? Yeah, 27. I rolled a 10 on the dice. I have 5 from my charisma, another 2 from the Genie's Wrath, so 27 damage with force.
Okay. All right. This one sort of immediately, as it's like pummeled and blasted, you see that its like form begins to like fly a little bit just from the force, and then the flames begin to engulf it. What does it sort of look like as it dies?
I guess Alex, Beacon, Rowan. You see as this thing gets pushed back, it's getting ready to come back in and try and hit you guys again. And just at the center of its chest, you see it glowing as the beam begins to pass through its body and blot the front. And through the bloody hole, you just see Rykard holding his hand up with smoke coming off of it.
Nice.
All right, as the smoke sort of rises off of your palm, Rykard, Beacon sort of seeing that off in the distance, you feel sort of like this energy, this invigoration, this knowledge that you can win overcomes you as you now are able to take your turn. Boone on deck.
Okay. I'm going to use my bonus action, and I'm just going to tap Rowan, and I'm going to give you 10 points of healing.
Thank you.
With my lay on hands. And okay, my action now. Like so far away. I'm going to this is the one that went down, right? This guy.
Yes, that one's done.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Let me
Okay,
mark it.
cool. No worries. It's just making sure. I'm going to use my movement. I'm gonna try to get over here, back over to Rykard and Boone, and this guy that's still up. Yeah, I'm just gonna cast Ray of Frost at this one.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay. Can I roll? There we go. 15.
A 15 will hit.
Okay. I'll take just 5 damage, 5 cold damage.
All right. You see sort of like crystals of frost begin to blossom over its antlers, and it lets out a shriek.
Okay.
Anything else on your turn?
No, that's all. I'll just kind of at the one that I just hit, and yeah, I was gonna say something cool. I couldn't think of anything. It's fine.
Okay. All right, Boone, you are up. There seem to be only 2 more remaining.
Indeed. I am going to stir my little cleft hooves into the ground and kick up some dust and charge 25 feet forward to this one. And I'm going to use my charge ability as a piggy and hit it with a tusk attack.
All right.
So let me roll to hit. Sorry, I have to look at the other things. Okay. Oh, damn it. I missed.
All right, as you charge at it, you sort of like honk and snort as your pig form, and you charge at it and attempt to knock into it with its tusks, but it barely beats its wings and just goes slightly above you up in the air.
Okay, in that case, I will stare at it and mog at it in my piggy form. And I will block it this way from Beacon. It cannot go towards Beacon now, because my big fat pig ass is in the way.
All right. Okay, this one here, sort of almost like in a slightly panicked way, seems to like sort of let out like a shriek and a cry as Boone in piggish form comes towards it, and you all see that suddenly it like swoops over the edge and then drops down out of sight and swoops back under the waterfall, vanishing from view as it seems to fly away, oddly panicked by the presence of Boar Boone. All right, Rowan, you are up. Elixios on deck. There seems to be only one more of these creatures within view.
All right. Is there anything like in my way going this way, or are these just like rocks I can kind of easily pass by?
Yes, the difference in height and size between the rocks is negligible.
Okay. In that case, seeing that most of our problems are starting to go away, Rowan will charge 30 feet closer. I'm trying to get a little bit of a better view of this last one that seems to be incapacitated. And I guess I'll take a shot. It seems like we killed them all, and they don't seem very nice, so rest in peace. He'll hold on to his staff, and he'll charge up this blast of radiant energy, and I will use a cantrip. I will cast Starry Wisp. I'll shoot a little mote of light at it. Ooh, that's a 12. It's not at advantage, right? Because it's incapacitated?
No.
Okay.
Incapacitated just stops it from reactions and actions.
That stuff.
So, as you attempt to send your Starry Wisp towards it, something about the unsettling presence in the space and the strange shadows that these creatures seem to cast sort of makes it so that you're unable to truly focus deeply on the spell.
As he kind of releases it and it goes wide. Sorry. I know. That'll be my turn. I'll just wait there, I guess, a little disappointed.
All right. As you sort of wait back in disappointment, Elixios, you are up.
All right. Alexios will kind of follow behind Rowan. Not able to make it quite so far, but that's fine. And seeing Rowan attack, he'll begin to form this like globe of energy in his hands and shoot it towards the only one remaining, I guess, with advantage, but because of innate sorcery, not because it's incapacitated. As I cast Sorcerer's Burst. Oh, hold on. A 15, or let's roll with advantage. 15?
15 hits.
15 hits. All right. As it hits Rykard, you'll see that some of the flames that were coming off of you a little bit from your last attack kind of leech on to the creature as this like burst of magical energy as it engulfs in flames. It is going to take 7 points of fire damage.
All right. As you send like the flames bursting and looking towards it, the flames sort of surround the creature, and as it does, it sort of like suddenly lets out a squawk and shakes its head, suddenly shaking out of its incapacitated state. As it sort of like looks around, its strange reddish eyes refocusing. Okay, it is now its turn. It is going to take 2 attacks against Rykard as it sort of like comes back to, with like sort of flames surrounding and jumping towards it. It is going to make both of its attacks against you, Rykard. An 11 and a 13.
Both will miss.
As both miss, it then sort of like beats its wings and in like almost a last ditch attempt, it dives off the edge and begins to swoop away. As it drops down and around, it sort of like follows the swooping arc of the previous Periton that sort of like fell out of view. You no longer see any of your enemies, although you are left in this strange cavern. Looking around, you can see that there are bones and remains. There appear to be 2 almost small, like cloth-like, stony and bony nests that are nestled in the space, and you see like a crack in the ceiling of the space that seems to have light coming through it, leading further up. You can see that there are vines that stretch through the hole in the ceiling as well, leading upwards.
Beacon takes like a few deep breaths. Is everyone okay?
I'm fine.
Alive.
Does anyone know what
Yeah.
these things are?
Do I know what these things are?
And I kind of crouch down and try to
Roll.
take a better look at these.
Yeah, can I snuffle like through this like dead one right here?
I'd say Boone, you can roll a flat nature check. As for Rowan, go ahead and roll one at disadvantage.
Okay.
Because you purple.
That's racist. I still did better than you. Okay. 16.
Okay. Boone, you think you've heard of creatures like this before, although you cannot recall the name of them. As best as you remember, these creatures are oddly fixated on hunting humanoids, but specifically elves, humans, and also Asimar are their natural sort of quarry, and they attempt to eat the hearts of their victims, very specifically.
Oh.
Rowan, you remember the same thing, but you seem to recall that these creatures are called peritons. They're not really found in the Tosarai wilds, and to the extent of your knowledge, they're mostly found down in Mandragore and also near Carolyn. You've also heard of such creatures being found on the island of Unitas.
Oh, these things, they're pelotons. No, peritons. Peritons. Never really seen one before,
Peritons.
but does it knowing like what other areas they're native to, does it like make sense that they would be here, or is it like weird?
It's a little odd, but Cravensbone is not far, theoretically, from Victazal Unitas.
Okay. Well,
Can I go?
well, okay.
Can I go snuffle toward this bone pile?
All right, as you head over to that bone pile and sort of begin to sniff over it, Boone, what is your intention as you take a look over it?
I want to see what's in it, if it's just bones or if there's anything that may have belonged to other victims.
All right, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Sam.
Looking over the bones, you see bones of various shapes and sizes. Some appear to belong to most of them appear to belong to humanoids, and a few of them appear to belong to perhaps other bestial or monstrous creatures. Some of them appear to have been scavenged and ripped apart, whereas others appear to have been unfortunate victims who stumbled into this den or nest. Looking over them, you also notice some scraps of rope, but aside from that, nothing really stands out to you specifically, Boone. You see that there's over a dozen different bones in this pile.
While Boone is looking around, I'll just pick like a flat, empty area of land, and everyone will plop down. And I'm gonna start ritual casting while everyone is looking around.
As
Alright.
you begin to ritual cast, Rykard, still breathing very heavily, still looks kind of, on defensive, seeing that those two dipped out, not knowing if they could come back. Begins to collect himself and makes his way over to the stream and begins to kind of wash off his wounds.
All right. As you sort of begin to clear off your wounds, Rykard, you sort of look at the sort of vague carnage around you. You have a sense that many creatures over here or humanoids have stumbled into this sort of den area, and they seem to be there's lots of different corpses and pits of carnage all over. And you have a moment of brief fear where you realize that you almost could have been one of them.
As he's washing his wounds, mostly his arms, in this sort of stream, you all see when his hands and body make contact with the water, it begins to steam, and the wounds begin to close up just a little bit, but making the water further down very red with blood. And I'm going to cast that healing hands thing.
As your wounds begin to stitch themselves back up, there's almost as the water hits your wounds, steam begins to roll off of them as the wounds sort of stitch themselves back together.
And while
Well,
Rowan's doing, oh, sorry, you go, Beacon.
no, it's over. I was just saying while Rowan is casting, Beacon's going to kind of be near the edge, looking out for if the Peritons return.
All right, as you sort of stand on guard, Alexios, what are you up to?
I'm just taking a look around the area, maybe a little bit closer to, I assume, the cavern mouth here, just kind of looking for anything of interest that might be around here.
All right. As you look around the cavern mouth, the only thing of interest is that there seems to be a mound that resembles a nest of some kind. Beyond that, the other points of interest seem to be the pile of bones that Boone is looking at.
Okay.
Can I take a look at this
All right.
corpse? Sorry.
Sure. As you go to take a look over the corpse, it appears to be quite old and mostly rotted away. But looking over their clothes, they seem to be wearing sort of the almost blackened leather clothes and patchwork clothes that you would expect of an adventurer or perhaps an explorer or even a poacher of some kind. They don't seem to be wearing any sort of clothing that would indicate that they belong to Brave Hollow.
Okay.
Alexios, you went to go look at the pile of bones?
Yeah, just kind of went over beside Boone, crouching down a little bit
All right, taking a look over the pile of bones,
as he
can
gets
you
next
go
to me.
ahead and roll an investigation check, please?
Uh, 18.
Taking a look over the pile of bones, you see that the bones, there's over a dozen bones there, all various shapes and sizes from different creatures. Some still have a bit of flesh stuck to them, but most of them seem to be quite picked over. You notice that there's a long length of rope that is partially frayed, that you have a sense somebody was using to scale up, along with a set of pythons and a hammer. You notice amidst the scraps of sort of flesh and clothing that remain that it looks like several privateers may have been trying to make their way up here. You also see what seems to be like a large net that likely would have been used to attempt to capture one such paraton. Beyond that, amidst the bones, sort of near the bottom of the stack, you see something that appears to give off a pale bluish light.
Okay. What's Boone doing next to me?
Sniffing at the bones.
Snorting and snuffling around.
All right. Could I use minor illusion to make that kind of blue glow a little bit brighter and try to direct Boone's attention towards that thing, but trying to get, trying to make it seem as though Boone is the one finding this.
Boone, you suddenly see this strong blue glow amidst the bones.
She'll kind of snort in surprise and immediately hone in on it and stick her nose directly on it, see what it is.
Boone, what did you find?
As you knock some of the bones aside, suddenly it's revealed that there is a pale blue light that gives off almost like a slight bit of moonlight. The both of you recognize quite well. You see that as the bones are knocked aside, this brilliant sort of glow begins to fill the room, and you see what appears to be a short sword that is giving off a bluish glow.
Is like the whole sword glowing?
Just the blade.
I'll step back a bit, having cleared it around, and I'll squeal and I'll say, found a weapon over here.
Alex kind of jumps back a little bit. You can talk like that? I don't think I've actually heard you speak. I don't think so. I think it was just Rowan. He always make noises.
Prefer to make noises, but ain't exactly a pig word for a glowing sword.
All right, I'll pick up the glowing sword for now.
All right, you pick up the glowing sword. It feels light and sort of keen in your hand. It appears to be a short sword.
Okay. All right, and then I'll... You said there's this net rope.
Yes, there's like a shredded length of rope, and there appears to be like a frayed net.
Okay. How long does the rope look?
Like it's quite shredded, but it appears to be about 20 or so feet.
Oh, okay, probably not enough. Okay. Then yeah, with that, I will go a little bit closer to Rowan. And see if he's almost done casting that ritual.
Yeah, I need 20 minutes. Whenever has it been 20 minutes?
If no one else wants to do anything, then yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be casting Prayer of Healing. You've seen Rowan do it once before. It was a little bit faster, kind of less involved. Just this seem to be weaving of different threads of magic together. This time it seems like he's doing something that's much more long form. He kind of has his spell book splayed out. He's, trying to grind up herbs and mix them together. He's doing several different involved castings over them and forming them into a specific sigil. But eventually, as he nears the end of the spell, he is making salad, witch salad. Near the end of the spell, he'll holler out for everyone. Everyone should gather around now. In Boone, you should shift back to your normal form.
I'll chuff indignantly at that, but I will shift back.
And then, I will cast Prayer of Healing. I'll be using my last spell weaving charge to use Weave of Rites. So he casts Prayer of Healing as a ritual spell. And kind of as he suffuses this energy into the magical herb sigil, there's this big wave of just warm healing energy that bursts out from it, and as it touches each of you, let me share it. Everyone regains 2d8, so everyone gets 13 healing and gains the benefits of a short rest.
Yay.
Ooh.
Thank you, Rowan.
Absolutely. So if you need more healing, spend your hit die. Yeah. And I don't know if it automatically does it, but Boone, we would get back 1 wild shape charge from a short rest.
It does not automatically do it.
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
Unfortunately, it does not on D&D Beyond, which
You're
is
welcome.
weird.
Well, there you go. Back to full.
I'm back to my my 16.
Close enough.
It's so sad.
Everybody feeling a little better now?
Much better, thank you.
Yeah. I figure if we're gonna have to face more of those things going up, better we be healed up.
I'm not sure if I could face much more, but
I don't know if any of y'all use a sword, but there's a glowing one.
yeah, I took it here. It's right here.
Could look at it later, or now, but I assume we don't want to waste any more daylight.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah, I
so.
don't
We need to
think
find that
we
shaker
should
node.
Yeah, we shouldn't stick around here either. I'm afraid that the Peritons might come back.
All right. Which way do we go? Pick up my things.
I think we head inside the cave. There are vines to climb up, if I remember correctly. Is that right, Harrison? There were like things that we could use to climb.
Yes, there appears to be a gap in the cave of light that seems to lead upwards, and you can see that there are like lengths of vine that seem to drape down through that opening.
And so we should probably go there.
All right. I'll walk over and start climbing.
Can everybody go ahead and roll athletics for me, please? Boone, are you staying as a boar? Or are
No,
you
I
just
already
gonna fly
shifted out. I already shifted out. I'll just fly. But what does Rowan look like climbing up this rope? This is fine. I need to.
It looks like exactly what I looked like in elementary school trying to climb a rope in gym class. He's really good for like the first 2 or 3 pulls, and then it's a lot of struggle.
So, as Rowan and Rykard struggle, but do their best to climb the rope, Beacon, you're sort of like somewhere in the middle. You climb up, and there's oddly enough, you find yourself needing to take more breaks than you'd expect. Perhaps it's the heavy armor or all the equipment that you're carrying that slows you down. But Elixios, with surprising nimbleness, climbs up ahead of the group, with Boone sort of flying at his side. The pair of you, as you begin to climb upward, immediately sort of see through the gap in stone. And as you crest over, you can see the sort of upper mantle, the perilous and sort of precarious ground where you had initially considered landing. Looking out, you see a length of stony sort of patches of island. You can see that there are large chunks of stone, uh, oddly lush vegetation that seems to have perhaps come from its own separate biome. Um, you can see that there is um, um, sorry, I'm blanking. There appears to be like spiky protrusions out of the ground that look like perhaps they're made of wood or something of the like, perhaps roots jutting out of the ground. And you can see the sort of crumbling stoneways all around. The narrowness of the pathways, you have a sense that you'll have to be climbing and clambering over rocks to get a better view of your surroundings, but also to understand sort of the lay of the land where you find yourself. Let me get you all situated on this new map.
Ooh,
You map, map
maps.
too. You maps. Bow, 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 bow.
I'm about to just get on Freya. Bro, I can't be climbing like this.
Alex and Boone, as the two of you make your way to the top, you have about a minute before the rest of your companions join you.
They're a sick party without them.
Yeah.
No, my FOMO.
um, no, Alex will turn to Boone. Do you think you could fly up a little bit to get a better look of what's ahead
Like
and what
Scout?
we're going to have to climb through? Yeah.
Can I, Harry, can I try and climb, like fly up a bit and see if I can kind of track some route that might be easiest for the others to take?
You have a sense as you sort of float up that the pathway ahead is somewhat straightforward.
Oh.
There appears to be lengths of stone that lead towards raised chunks of rock. Where the actual shaker node is, you're not entirely positive, but you think you distantly see a bluish glow. Beyond that, floating slightly up, you see something else of note. You see that several stones in this area seem to have these strange, almost swirling, magic like patterns drawn upon them. And you also see what seems to be the abandoned bag of perhaps another adventurer.
Hmm. Okay, I'll fly back down. Uh, it doesn't look like it's gonna be much of a climb, more of a walk, but you were talking about spirals in that cave. I think there's some of those up here. Also, some old supplies.
Could you draw what they look like and maybe get the supplies?
Can I what?
Can you get the supplies and when you come back down, draw the what symbols you saw? Maybe on your map?
Oh, okay. I don't know if Harry, it's like that whole cart, right?
Yes, it's sort of like this chest and this bag over here.
Do they look heavy?
Yes, they certainly
Okay.
do.
I don't think I can carry all. It's like a toppled over, like it's a lot of stuff abandoned up here.
Oh.
I can draw those things for you. I'll put them on my map, and I will, with like all of the finality of like an old dad sitting down in an armchair and whipping out the newspaper in front of him. I'll unfold my map in front of me, and I'll pick up my charcoal, and I will start to very diligently, every once in a while, flying up and kind of squinting to get a better view at the swirls and stuff, and I'll translate them down on my map. Let me do that now.
All right, go ahead and roll sleight of hand.
Okay. Sam.
7. All right. As you begin to draw, you become extremely engrossed in your task, Boone, to the point that when your companions sort of come up from where they are down below, you don't really feel like focusing quite so much on your journey, and you're not sure just how accurate your drawings are, but you're taking some artistic liberties, and you feel okay with that decision.
Yeah, I'm making them look real pretty. Like, for example, this eye is gonna be an anime eye.
What's that?
Rowan, would you mind coming to take a look at this? Boone saw some symbols,
Oh,
and they
sure.
look like they are arcane in nature, but I would, maybe we could help each other trying to figure out what these are.
Grabbing
Yeah,
them.
let's take a look. Where are they?
And I think they're on the rocks, she said, but she's drawing pictures of them right there.
Yes.
I will could I look at the symbols and see if they mean anything?
Yeah, I'll share my screen. You can see exactly what I'm doing.
Or can I look with Alex? Like, can I help Alex if he hasn't looked at
Yeah,
it?
can I give Rowan some help?
Are the pair of you just looking at the rocks themselves, or are you looking at Boone's drawing of the rocks?
Ideally, the rocks
Can we see the
themselves.
rocks? I thought
we
it
can see
was.
them.
You would have to move and fly to see them.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Could you
You're
could
just
you
from an
ping
upper
where they
vantage point
are?
where you can see that. Yes, if you just look sort of northward on the map.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
Maybe when we get
Well, you
closer.
still have Freya. You could, yeah, you could see them for yourself, and I will take a look at the drawings, maybe.
All right. He'll summon Freya. I guess maybe like over here in a little bit of space because she's kind of big. And then well, I guess because we use her stats. As he summons her, he looks at Freya a little bit. And he kind of looks at her big wide dragonfly eyes. And looks back to Alex. I'm not really sure that she'll be quite as perceptive as she normally is.
Oh. Could you fly on top of her and use your own eyes?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess. I suppose that's an option. Hadn't really thought of that till turn around and climb on top of her.
You were just thinking of using Freya then.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't
Exploiting her.
know. Well, okay, no, it was your idea. Freddie, don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. You know? I guess I'll fly over there then. I'll try to stay decently above the ground, just in case there's, I don't know. I'm scared.
And
fly...
I'll take a look at the drawings Boone is doing to help.
Sure. All right. Could you go ahead and roll a either Arcana or Religion check?
We will go with Arcana, and as we fly closer, kind of steadying himself on Frey and peering over, he'll grasp onto his amulet, and I will cast guidance on myself for Arcana.
Okay.
Ooh, that's actually good. 26.
26. Okay. Taking a look over the symbols, you ascertain that they have some sort of arcane power or value. The exact nature of the symbols is hard for you to tell. They appear to be extremely ancient, sort of just magically kept on the weathered stones that you see. You have a sense that they have faced many an element based on this sort of like pockmarks, sun bleaching, staining, and all that you are able to see on these rocks themselves. Each of the symbols appears to be of equal importance. However, the one that remains strongest and the least sort of weathered appears to be that sort of central stone with an eye upon it. You can see that there are other stones sort of around the area that also have symbols, however. You have a sense that they are all magically charged in some way, and you can see that there's an abandoned bag and what also seems to be an abandoned chest that has been splayed open. Notably, you also see that there's a small pile of bones at the foot of the largest of the stones.
The symbol, I only see the eye depicted in the centralmost symbol.
Yes.
Does it look similar to the way that the eye was depicted in that temple thing in the thing on the door?
It looks somewhat similar,
Hmm.
although stylistically perhaps different.
Okay. Um, and kind of looking less, I guess, the bones kind of catching Rowan's eye, and looking around the scene. Do I see any indication of like something bad that may have happened here? Like, are there any scorch marks or explosions or anything crazy like that?
It's hard for you to say as the bones themselves appear to be quite old. What you do notice, I'll say, is that um, the bones themselves appear like fleshless, um, quite ancient. There aren't any clothes around them.
Hmm. Okay. Very weird. Okay, he will circle back, fly back to the group, and I will explain all of what I saw. Uh, it looks like they're still active, whatever they are. The three magical sigils. One of them looks a little bit stronger than the other ones, but I don't know. They seem to still be present over there. There's also some bones. There's no evidence of any clothes or flesh or anything else nearby. So I can't really tell what would have happened there.
And, what did the symbols look like exactly? Alex is kind of trying to look over Boone's shoulder, but isn't quite making out what Boone's drawing here.
Could I help Boone create a more faithful a more faithful depiction from what I just saw?
Sure.
You are welcome to try.
All right, yeah, he'll
Boone, you can go ahead and roll a second sleight of hand check. Do you have any sort of sleight of hand training, Rowan?
I do not. But maybe I'll just cast guidance on her for that, and I will just, give verbal knowledge the best I can of what I saw.
Okay.
All right,
So I
Boone, go
rolled
ahead and roll a second one with guidance.
18. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to redo all of this. Damn it, 22. I just made it all so nice.
Although you keep an initial sort of faithful to your artistic vision version, you also try to make a sort of more visually accurate version of the various symbols that you and Rowan have sort of seen, Boone. um, and looking over them, what you're best able to sort of scribe are the following drawings.
Ooh.
I see
Ooh.
boobs and a deer.
Well, that looks like an eye.
Does that look like the eye that was on the mural? Or is
As
it
I sort of
different?
previously said, it shares some similarities, but it's not the same.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, Rowan was thinking the same thing.
That's what I
Boobs.
thought too. Yeah, looks like an eye, but in a different style, so might not be connected.
Or it could be like a different just interpretation of it,
That's true.
maybe.
What are we thinking?
I'm thinking we should stop staring at it and go over there.
Do we have any way of maybe testing if it's safe first? I don't want to end up like those bones.
Fair enough. Well, when you looked at the symbols, they seem. Were you able to tell what kind of magic they
Um,
gave off? Like
not
which school?
not just by looking, right, Harry? I couldn't discern anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
You have a feeling that you'd have to do a lot more like in-depth investigation, perhaps magically assisted to find that out.
I couldn't really tell just from looking. I mean, I could cast a spell to learn, but I don't really have the resources to do it quickly. It would take another 10 minutes.
We should probably be
That's
focusing
fair.
on where the shaker node is, though.
That's true.
Do it.
And
No, we don't see it on this map, right? And we don't like immediately see where it was.
You have not been able to see it, but you also haven't really traveled much on this map.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
maybe let's explore the other areas first, and we can't find it. Then we can test the sigiled area.
Harry, in what direction did I see that blue glow?
You saw maybe like a faint blue light over here.
Oh. Okay. I will start heading in that direction.
I'll follow after her on Freya.
Okay. As the two of you sort of split off from the group and begin flying off that way, Rykard, Beacon, and Alex, how do you plan on traversing this area? Any area that sort of has significant rocks will require you to climb.
I mean, I guess
Or,
just start
like,
climbing.
Is this
So what
map
were you
like an
gonna
accurate
say?
depiction
Yeah.
of how far like everything is? Like that's like 90 feet. That's 125.
Yes, but to traverse like safely on foot, you would still have to climb up these like different sort of rocky mounds. Each of them sort of like, depending on sort of the height, each somewhere between like a 5-foot sort of easier climb to like a 20-foot sort of stack of rocks.
All right.
I'm just gonna climb as normal.
All right.
Yeah,
Rykard
I
begins
think I'm
to
gonna do
do
the
the
same.
slow sort of journey across this varied sort of like myriad chasms. As they sort of like start to make their way, you do have to hop across a small gap. It's not so large that it's impossible for either of you to do. As you hop across, you sort of hear the whistling of wind and air underneath, though, as you begin to make your way across. As the pair of them begin to traverse, Rowan and Boone, the two of you start to get further ahead. Can I get perception checks from the pair of you, please?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm just going
No
to use
fucking
my.
way.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're like
We start arguing on the way there.
we're like bumpers. Move out of the way.
I was going to use my celestial revelation to summon wings and fly after Rowan and Boone. That was my intention.
All right, as you're sort of somewhat far behind, waiting for like Rykard and Beacon to get going, with sort of Rowan and Boone over here, peering across. Neither of you see anything of note.
All I see is your fat in my way.
I can't see anything because you keep flying in front of me. Move around and go wide.
As the two of you sort of circle the area, Alex, you sort of begin to let off your brilliant glow, wings beginning to sort of burst forth from you.
Oh, look, he's doing that thing again. A point from the distance.
I will yeah, I'll fly like over in this direction over here.
All right, as you begin to fly off in that direction, following after them, go ahead and roll a perception check, Alex.
I want it to be another nat 1, please.
There's no way.
There you
No
go.
way.
Your wish is
Holy
fulfilled.
crap.
We're so good, guys.
6-7.
Peering over there, you also don't see anything of note, Alex.
This is why we.
Beacon, I think Alex is gonna run into that wall.
We're supposed to be looking for the shaker node.
It's hard to see you when Rowan won't get out of my way.
I'm not in your way. You're in
You
my
three
way.
be careful, you're gonna run into those
You're
rocks.
literally blocking. I can't even breathe with how close you are.
No, look, now you're in Alex's way too.
Oh my goodness. You think they're okay over there?
No, but there's no saving him.
Yeah, I'm
As the
kind of stuck here.
as the pair of you begin to climb, can you both go ahead and roll athletics checks for me, please?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Doing a circuit, the Indy 500 over in the air.
Nice.
All right, the pair of you begin to climb. Beacon, this is sort of like very similar to some training that you have done over the course of the past few years, sort of honing your focus when it comes to sort of like the more physical aspects of your training. As you sort of climb up ahead, you lean back and lend a helping hand to Rykard as the pair of you climb over your first sort of towering stack of stone and begin to lower yourselves back down on the other side. Can you both roll perception checks, please?
Okay.
2 more nat ones coming up.
There's no way.
Don't say that.
3 in a row is insane.
That is pretty crazy.
As Beacon's focus is sort of on ensuring your safe travels for the pair of you, Rykard, you notice that there's a bunch of bones at the base of this sort of stack of rocks. You notice that there appears to be sort of like a form of it appears to be a humanoid of some kind collapsed down sort of face first on the rock, almost as though they fell. But you also see that there's a series of like woodish looking spikes that seem to be stabbed all through what remains of the bone sort of skeleton.
Okay, they're not. I'm assuming those aren't natural. Those wooden spikes.
They stand out to you as unnatural as they remain in place. And like the clothes and stuff of this body have begun to rot away. There's no more skin, just bones.
I'll point that to Beacon. We got to be careful. Don't want to end up like that guy.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, I'll keep an eye out. Who would put traps all the way up here, though?
They must not want us up here.
Yeah, but who?
Who knows? We're on a floating rock. I can't really ask questions.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, let's just try to keep up with the others. Um, keep going. Try to avoid the spikes and being impaled.
Yeah.
Sure. As you move around them and climb around them, the pair of you sort of take a look over them. They appear to be about like 6 or 7 inches in length, and they mostly appear almost like wooden in texture.
In text. Okay. Um.
So it just has a texture of wood. It's not necessarily wood.
Well, hard to say as you walk by it.
Hmm. Eh, Could I take a closer look at it?
Sure. You stop moving along, and as you approach and take a look over them, you have a feeling that they look wood-like. They're brownish in color.
Huh. Um,
Try and pull one out.
yeah.
As you sort of like grab onto the one of them and try to wrench it out from where it sort of like seems to like have pierced through the body of this like skeleton, and it is now stuck into the earth below. As you sort of pull on it, it seems very deeply stuck in the ground. Go ahead and roll an athletics check.
Beacon, are you pulling it out or am I pulling it out?
I think I am. Sorry. Just gonna found out there. 17.
All right. As you pull on it, Beacon, you pull one out from deep within the ground. You can see as you sort of pull it out of the ground, there appears to be like a small little bit of some sort of like liquid that comes off of the tip of the spike. But aside from that, it seems odd. You can see that the very edge of the spike has is phalanged and extra spiky, almost like additional thorns on a rose right at the tip.
Would you say that this spike looks less like someone fashioned like a piece of wood or something to make a trap and more like a giant thorn? Like it came from a giant rose or something?
Roll a nature check.
Okay.
As you get a closer look over at Beacon, it strikes you as less necessarily wood, which is what you originally surmised, and more like a giant porcupine quill, but with an extra sort of set of spikes at the tip.
I don't think that this is a. This came from a plant, my card. Looks like it almost belonged to some sort of porcupine or something else with spikes. Something
I
unnatural
have
about.
no idea. I am out of my element. Hold
Yeah,
on to it.
same.
Maybe the others know something about it. Hold on to it.
Yeah, let's try to keep up with them. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to it.
All right, you can add one of the spikes to your inventory. It weighs about 2 pounds.
Okay.
All right, as you two continue to climb, let's turn our attention back to the three who are flying through the air over here. As the three of you continue to circle, nothing really of note seems to stand out to you.
Should I stop flying? I think Rowan has had enough of this nonsense, and he can tell Freya's getting irritated by the bumper cars. So
And now you're gonna collide directly into me.
no, so he'll kind of land somewhere that looks big enough to set down with her. And since I wasn't able to see anything at kind of a cursory glance, could I try landing and maybe like actually just wandering through the trees and the brush and looking, a little more closely?
Sure. As you
I will-
wander through and begin to
Oh.
push things aside, go ahead and roll an investigation check. Boone, what are you up to?
I was gonna join, but only for the sole reason that I didn't want it to look like Rowan was doing something and I wasn't.
Too late. I'm already doing something.
No,
But
I'm doing it better.
we'll see about that.
We do it better.
I cast
You
guidance.
can try to do the same thing.
I cast guidance spitefully.
What did
Oh.
you? I cast guidance spitefully.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
That's what you get.
Casting guidance
Save.
spitefully. Roll d4. And
Alex will
what-
swerve in between them and try to land, but only because he doesn't want to get knocked in between them as they were doing their little bumper car routine. Hold on, can I roll investigation as well?
Sure. As the pair of druids begin to take a look around, Alexios, you join them. As the three of you look around, all you see is brush and vines and dirt and stone. There's no sign of the light that Boone thought that she had seen over here. Although all three of you can smell something that smells very vegetal and extremely strong and like an earthy, almost like slightly moldy stench.
Boone, are you certain that you saw a light over here?
I did. Well, it was blue.
Where is it now?
It maybe it walked away.
Something
'Cause
stinks over
Y'all
here.
took too damn long getting up here.
I sit down on the edge of the rock.
And now Rowan's given up.
I'm not giving up. I'm waiting. I can't find anything, and it smells awful. Smells like something died.
You only have
Shouldn't you be back by now?
Hmm.
I need Beacon's help with this.
Roll my eyes at that.
All right. As Beacon and Rykard continue on, can I get perception checks from the pair of them again as well?
Okay. Perception. William.
As the pair of you continue along, directly ahead of you, you find what looks to be a massive set of paw prints that are like that of a large cat in the sort of crumbling soil before you. You can see that crushed under one of these paw prints, you see what looks to be a humanoid skull that yet remains stuck in the ground, and you can also see a spike that goes through the skull.
A beacon. Does that look like the spike you just pulled out of the ground?
It certainly does.
Interesting.
We we need to be careful here. Yeah, Beacon's gonna at this point draw his axe just to be ready, just in case. If I look up, actually, do I see the rest of the party?
You can see that up ahead, beyond the next set of scalable rocks, you can see that they all seem to have settled themselves on various ledges, on a sort of set of steps, stony steps that seem to lead up towards a high up, sort of raised point in the stones up ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna turn a right card. Let's get to them quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any more footsteps leading off of that one that we see?
It almost looks like one solid set of steps that seem to almost drop from the sky, crush something, and then jump back away.
Yeah, let's get to the others.
I'm gonna pick up the pace.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. As the pair of you hurry along, it takes you a few minutes to catch up to your compatriots. The three of you, can you go ahead and roll another round of investigation checks, please?
Guys, what are the odds?
Amazing. Let's do it.
Oh, 12. Okay.
18!
Yay!
Please, something.
As the three of you sort of follow the smell of something strange, you begin to sort of have to congregate around this sort of pathway that you all sort of see up here. And as you make your way over, you see that there's this long, like, drag mark in the dirt and the ground that seems to lead up towards a sort of raised set of stones that almost form a, like, almost a ladder or a set of like high steps that lead to some sort of raised peak that stands almost like a hoodoo-like structure sticking out of the raised stones. You see that there's this long drag mark, like a body or something of the like was dragged, and you can see that there's sort of like a little bit of blood that is dragged across the ground as well. Up ahead, sort of at the top of the steps, you think you see some scratch marks and some vines as well. Sort of narrowing your eyes, Alex, you think you see slightly hidden, almost like a optical illusion. You see that there are two sort of like points where there's like a crack or a crevice in the stony wall up ahead that looks to lead into a cave of some kind, and you think you see a faint glow off in that direction, a bluish glow.
Oh, I'm sorry for doubting you, Boone, earlier, but I think the bluish glow that you saw was through here. And I'll point it out to the rest of them.
That's good.
Are you noticing the blood as well? What is this?
Harry, is it the blood that smells foul, or is it something else?
Something else.
Oh.
How much blood did you say that there was?
It's not a crazy amount. It appears to be like one big smudge.
Oh, it's so
Can I like
much.
crouch down and look at it, or like touch it a little bit? Does it seem to be like really? Can I try to discern how old it is? Maybe.
It sort of flakes and crusts as you touch it. You can surmise that it's at least a day old.
Hmm.
Ooh.
It seems
Jeez.
fairly recent. Should probably be on guard. I don't know what caused this, but isn't that long ago.
Harry, do I get the sense at all that we're being watched?
What is your passive perception?
16.
You don't have the sense that you're being watched.
Okay.
Can I
Do I-
see Beacon and Rykard?
As they slowly clamber their way up the rock, you do see them come into view.
I think there's something dangerous up here.
Yep,
over to-
there certainly is. I'm going to show everyone the wooden spike.
Dick.
That's a big spike.
I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it came from an animal. And further down, we also saw a footprint, very large footprint, and there's bones everywhere.
Oh.
You think this is like a den?
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
And that came from an animal.
You said that does the spike look like
I
it could have come
think
from a big
so.
creature?
That is the sense that Rykard and Beacon had, seeing as they originally assumed it was made out of wood, but it appears to be something that may be closer to like a giant porcupine spike.
That's
Think
not
What's
good.
this?
But something you said a
Whatever.
footprint, like a humanoid footprint or an animal footprint?
No, like an animal footprint. It looked like a paw.
It's like a very big porcupine. Well, they were very big beavers.
True. Could be a big
Maybe we just
porcupine.
find that note and get the hell out of here.
Maybe we could try talking to it instead of trying to fight it, or just try to avoid it entirely.
I'll gesture to the blood. Think he tried talking to it?
Maybe. Maybe not.
We shouldn't try talking to it, I think. I think,
No?
yeah, it doesn't seem very friendly. It might be best if we try to keep as far away from it as possible. And find the shaker node and get out of here.
Well,
Don't
we
need
think we
any
found, correct?
fighting.
We think the chicken node might be through the cave, but that could also... Does it look like there's any, like, tracks leading towards the cave?
A drag mark?
There's a big drag mark that heads towards the cave.
Yeah.
Okay, well, was the drag mark next to the cave? Okay,
Yeah.
Like it leads up to the cave.
gotcha.
How ready is everyone to fight this thing if we have to?
Not very, to be honest.
Most fights don't ask your permission.
Well, I mean, they only saw one print, right? So it's probably just one creature. 5 against 1. Those are good odds. Right?
That's true. If we need to fight it, hopefully we don't have to.
Yeah, but ain't the node activated with like magic, so any stealth might go out the window.
It's only activated with evocation magic.
Correct. Alright, so sneaking into
Could you like put it
Could
to
we
sleep,
send
Beacon?
Rufus in, maybe? Or, yeah, that could be a
So
good
sorry.
idea too.
I saw what you did.
What did you say?
I saw what you did to those peritons. Do you think you could do something like that to this creature? Like put it to sleep?
I certainly can try, but I think I can only do it one more time today.
Oh.
But I think that's a good idea if we can get it tired enough.
Might be our best shot. Try to put it to sleep, or guess we have to fight it. Does anyone else have any other ways of incapacitating something like that?
Death usually incapacitates.
Well,
Yeah, nothing to incapacitate, unfortunately.
What if it's another one of those short swords that was glowing blue earlier? That'd be wishful thinking, right?
well, I mean, we don't really know where else to go. It's probably either in there or back in that other area with all the sigils. I did sense it somewhere up here when I cast the spell the last time. I think we should just go in quietly. How close do you need to get, Beacon, to put it to sleep?
About 60 feet.
Alright, we can probably swing that. And if it doesn't work, then we take it out quickly.
That's the spirit.
Any objections? Everybody ready?
Good to go.
Yeah, good to go.
All right.
I suppose before we go in, a way that we can ensure that my spell works is if anyone has the ability to, I guess we can, this creature's mind, if it comes to it, make it less likely to be able to resist. AKA,
stay
if
with you,
anyone
Beacon.
has something that can reduce wisdom saving throws. Yeah.
I will stay close to you, Beacon. And I think Rowan, you can do so as well. Yes.
Yeah, I think I can bolster his spell a little bit, like I did before.
Okay. Let's go.
Proceed quietly.
We proceed sneakily.
Right, everybody go ahead and roll stealth checks.
Oh no.
12 more.
Oh.
Alright. As you all move forward, creeping slowly, carefully, quietly as you can, you make your way along this sort of almost gravelly dirt path to this crack in stone. As you do, you can smell that pungent stench that had drawn Rowan, Alex, and Boone towards it. You can also see, right as you peek in between the cracks, that there seems to be a light. A sort of jagged blue spike seems to be sticking out ever so slightly of the ground, almost as if it had been dragged and dropped right there. You hear, deeper in the cavern, voices echoing.
Are they saying anything?
Yeah, if we stop and try to listen.
Yep, they sound like they're making noises. That's why you hear them. The voices. The voices.
Can we make out what they're saying at all?
Is your
If you want to
language,
get closer, you have a feeling that you'd be able to, but they're like sort of echoing and bouncing through the cavern.
Oh, we can't stop, girlies.
closer.
Yeah, I'll keep going. Keep going.
Yeah,
Can't
keep going.
stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Okay, as I mentioned, right in the as soon as you like look in, there is a large blue spike, and it seems like it was dropped right there.
Does it look heavy?
I think it's a shaker note.
Yeah, I know, but does it look like we could move it out of the cave?
I mean, it's quite large. It's not like massive, but it's about 2 to 3 feet. Looks quite solid. Has a sort of bluish tinge to it.
What if we just steal it and then activate it outside?
I feel like that would make more noise. I think we're better off just charging it up now and then. Did it when we charged it last time? Was there like a visible like effect to it?
Yes, it gave off a significantly stronger glow.
Mhm.
Well, we can activate it anywhere. We could go farther from the cave.
That's true. We could go outside the cave.
Can I try and slink a little bit closer? It's just to where I can try and make out most of what they're saying, or at least some of it.
Maybe those are the whispers of lost souls.
Sure. As you sneak a little bit further in, Boone, you try to move cautiously and carefully. As you take a few steps in, you all see as Boone sort of rounds the corner of the cavern and vanishes from sight.
Did
As you walk in, Boone, go ahead and roll a perception check.
oh, don't fail me now. 21.
All right. As you pay close attention, Boone, looking around, you stop moving forward as you see sort of a long stretch of this wide open cavern before it seems to open up to like a wider space up ahead, which is where you think you hear the voices coming from. You see sort of splayed out on the ground ahead of you numerous bodies. Some appear to be bestial, animal like. You see the bones of what seem to be several people. You see various different sort of uniforms from over the years that all appear to be of various different colors of Brave Hollow fabric. You can also see what looks like random adventurers' clothes. You see bits of armor, scraps of leather, abandoned daggers and spikes, and various other implements that all seem to sort of been cast aside by various people who seem to have died here over the years. You see spikes that seem to stick into the stone walls around, and you hear what sounds like 2 or maybe 3 voices up ahead. One of them says, and so that is the tale of how I first found my way through the many streets of the Free Irons, the city of gold and lights. The other voice almost seems to let out almost like a pleased purr like noise before it says, and then you found the vessel that brought you here. And the voice sort of lets out like a slow, low laugh and says, "No, no, no, of course not. After that, well, I still have not told you of the time when I found my way to Mandragore, and you see that is the place in which I found." And the story sort of continues on.
I am going to inch my way back to where the rest of the party is.
Good, you're still alive.
You sound relieved.
I am.
There's maybe 2. I heard 2 people talking, possibly a third person. They're bragging about some kind of exploits in the Free Irons and Mandragore, something about a city of gold. They're just people, I think.
Did you see them?
No, I just heard them talking. They didn't. Harry, did the voices sound like big? Like, did it seem like they were coming from a large source?
That is hard for you to tell, but one of them sort of was like a lower, like bassier, sort of almost louder voice, and one of them sounded like a little weak, a little tired.
One of them sounded, I don't know, older. One of them had like a baritone. I don't know. It's a voice.
Did it seem like they were hollows? Like we are?
Maybe something about catching a vessel to the city of gold, the one in the free irons.
Did you see anything in that?
Could I see anything in there? Oh, I did see stuff in there.
Yeah, you did see some stuff.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go further to take a look at like where the voices themselves are actually coming from, you would have had to have walked a little bit further and walked along like corpses.
Yeah. Didn't really want to get closer because on account of all the dead bodies on the floor, lot of bodies, adventurers, hollows with the uniform still from like different ages. It looked like.
That could be like us. I don't want to go in there.
Yeah, it seemed whoever was speaking didn't seem exactly perturbed by all the carnage.
Maybe they're the
That these people
monsters.
were haunting. Yeah, it could be the ones that have been killing people. It's not a creature at all.
What did you say they said again?
Something about catching a vessel from the free irons to a city of gold, and then they were also talking about something in Mandragore. I don't know, I didn't stick around.
Could you all go ahead and roll a round of stealth checks, please?
Oh, we're fucked.
I need to roll
Okay.
twice. Hold on.
Wait, you don't. Oh yeah, you do. Never
Yeah.
Oh.
Rowan
Not
is
attuned to your
very
equipment yet.
perturbed by the thought of other dead adventurers and hollows.
As you sort of take a step back, Rowan, you feel cracking underfoot, the loud sound of a bone snapping. Beacon, you sort of try to like brace him before he slips and falls over some of them, and in doing so, you yourself sort of clatter your like heavy metal armor just against the stone wall behind you. Alex and Rykard and Boone, as the three of you attempt to sort of like cling to the shadows as you speak in what you hope to be hushed voices. Alex, you notice that the like sort of lower voice up ahead seems to stop, and you hear the other voice say, "Hey, where are you? Where are you going? Come now!
Can
I
I?
was just about to tell the best part of the story."
This guy. Can I get a read that this guy clearly sounds injured and not
Maybe
like he seems a bit nervous from how you're talking, how you're describing him, Harry. But
hard to say. It's just a voice echoing through the caves.
all right,
Ooh, me? I'm just a worm.
all right.
After
Hold on, something's coming. Something's coming. And he'll pull Beacon back a little bit, like closer towards the shadows.
yeah, Rowan will move back and try to hug the wall, like hide behind someone.
Oh, yes.
You all hear the crunching of what sounds to be almost bones snapping up ahead around the corner of the cave. And in the soft sort of light that comes deeper from within the cave, perhaps torchlight, you're hard pressed to tell, there seems to be a long shadow that seems to stretch on the cave walls heading towards all of you. You see what seems to be like the massive form or like a huge form of like a cat-like creature with large, almost bat-like wings and a long, almost scorpion-like tail that at the end has a series of spikes all over it and like long curled back horns. You hear like a deep sniffing noise coming from around the corner. Do any of you want to do anything before this thing is upon you?
Did I roll a?
Activate the shaker node and get out.
Yeah, get the hell out of there.
But we have to like plant it and stuff too.
It's in the ground already.
Yeah, it's already in the ground, right?
Oh, I thought it was just laying there.
It's like lying on the ground.
Oh yeah.
So we need to lift it up and then activate it.
I think that thing's gonna chase us either way. I think.
Yeah. All right. You know what? We've all immediately seen that thing around the corner, knowing that we're not hiding very well. I'm gonna run over to the shaker, flit over to the shaker node, and see if I can get a good grip on it to lift it up to try and drop it back down into the earth or the cave.
All right. As you do, go ahead and roll me just an athletics check. Boom.
Okay. 13.
Okay. As you sort of head back towards the shaker node as quickly as you can, Boone, attempting to lift it up, it weighs quite a bit more than you expect, but you sort of lift it to tip it and tilt it so that it's like facing point down, and you let it drop, and as it like cracks against the stone, you think it gets like a little bit of depth to it, and it's standing upright. The rest of you can sort of hear this almost like low, growling, deep breathing, sniffing sound. And you hear the voice from deeper in the cavern sort of yell, "Oh, come back! I have many more stories to tell you."
I'm gonna try to dissuade it from coming this way. Rowan he'll stick out his hand, and these green tendrils of earth magic will start to reach and stretch out into the cave. I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy. I don't have to see the point, it just has to be within range, so I'm gonna try to do it like around the corner wherever I guess the presence is, like just out of sight, and I can cause harmless tremors in the ground, so I'm like a little earthquake. I don't know. Nothing to like fully, it won't knock it prone or anything, but maybe it'll give it pause while we're trying to do this.
Okay. Can you go ahead and roll performance, please?
Okay. 4.
As you attempt to sort of summon forth some sort of sound just beyond the corner, hoping that you know approximately where this thing is coming from, you try to summon forth a sort of tremor within the ground. You hear some sort of deep, low growling around the corner.
Seeing what Rowan was trying to do, could I kind of bolster that a little bit with like a minor illusion, and like try to make the sound because I can make a sound with it. So could I try to make like another like tremble, just kind of like trying to add to it a little bit?
Sure. Go ahead and roll your own performance check.
18.
All right, as you sort of let off this like really teensy, almost quiet rumble, Rowan, you hear a louder rumble come from like just behind it, and you hear like the creature sort of seems to like suddenly turn on a dime, and you hear like this tanging noise. It sounds like metal cracking against metal, as in the shadows that are cast by like the deeper light within this cave, you see spikes flying off of the tail of this creature, and it suddenly seems to like jump towards something sight unseen. And it sort of lets out a low rumbling growl, and you think you suddenly hear it speaking again in common towards whatever figure is deeper within. It says, "Are you trying to trick me, storyteller?" And you hear the voice deep within go, "What? No, no, no. Oh God. If somebody's out there, I could really use your help right about now."
All right. Okay. We need to get the shaker node active and get that guy out.
Right, yeah. Trying to think. How
So
do
is it already in the ground, or do we need to do anything else with it?
Like it's sticking out of the ground. It's not super deep in it, but it's just
Okay.
sticking up, and you know that that's not all you need to do to activate a shaker node.
Okay.
Based on your last experience.
Yeah, really quick, can you just update me on what needs to be done with the shaker note. It's just we need to get it deep enough in the ground and then
We cast our
cast
spells.
some
Cast
sort of
evocation spells into it.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Cool. I guess I can I'll say like I can get the shaker node into the ground, but we have to help that guy. Can someone go?
Right, I need to be here to activate it with you, but how far away is he?
You can assume like at least 40 feet away, and as you begin talking, you start hearing a cry of pain.
Okay. Uh
Shit. I'm gonna go try to do something. And then Rowan is gonna wild shape. I'll wild shape into nothing is really great against this. Into a panther. He'll his form will just quickly shift at hearing the cry of pain. He just reflexively knows he has to go try to do something. So I'll wild shape into a panther and start trying to slink that way, I guess, stealthily.
I'll go with Rowan.
All right, are you guys trying to be
Okay.
stealthy and slow, or are you trying to go fast?
You were trying to go stealthy, right, Chris?
I guess. Well, I mean, I probably not. I don't know. I guess it seems smart, but I guess I'm just charging in.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you going to right guard?
Yep. And Leroy Jenkins it. Let's do it.
All right. As the pair of you begin to rush forward, with your sort of three others remaining behind for now, as the two of you rush forward, rounding the corner, crackling over some bones. One of you in panther form, one of you as a more humanoid form. You turn the corner, and what you see is a sort of deep cavern filled with a bunch of random bits and bobs. There are treasure chests. You see like large statues. You see like slimy, almost like pustule like egg type things. You see a burning fire sort of at the middle of the space. You can see that hung upside down, partially spiked through the ankle and pinned to a wall, hung upside down, you see what appears to be a sort of somewhat younger human man. He is wearing like gray, white, and black clothing. And you can tell by the clothes that he's wearing, they appear to be quite fanciful. Like he's not used to like sort of slumming it in like the forest. You can see that sort of collapsed underneath him are a series of scrolls and tomes and books, as well as what looks to be a violin that is cracked in half. Um, he has like deep sort of tan skin, but it looks quite pale from like blood loss or some sort of injury. He looks like he's been hung upside down for quite some time, and you can see that there's like on his short, sort of cropped black hair, you can see that like on the front of his face there looks to be like a smash mark where there's blood smeared all over it. And there's this large cat-like creature with black and red, sort of velvety bat-looking wings, with a long spike-covered tail. And as you all come rushing in, it turns its face towards you, and you can see that its face looks human-like, but also as if it was made out of stone. It opens its wide mouth, and you can see it has one large paw, sort of like about to slash down on the figure. And as it looks towards you, it sort of lets off this almost Cheshire cat-like grin as it says, It seems I won't be needing you anymore, storyteller. More exciting entertainment has found its way to my home. As the pair of you sort of move forward into the cave, let's end our session there for tonight.
We
Ah!
barely survived the chickens. Now we gotta fight a manticore.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Let's hope we don't fight. We gotta run, guys.
We
How
got
are we
he's
gonna
Yeah,
run?
we gotta
We're not
go.
not floating
Broken
around.
ankle.
yeah, and he's pinned to the thing.
Oh, he's got a broken ankle.
Out. We
Yeah.
out.
And this thing can fly. It's just gonna follow us the entire time.
I mean, the plane can still be trying to put it to sleep, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a
I think that should be our plan. At the very
That
least,
should
if
be
it
the
fails
plan.
one,
Yeah.
if it fails like at least one saving throw, it's going to be incapacitated, which will give us enough time to get out. So
Ooh.
Yeah.
we got to get out of here.
Until
Manticores are rough.
Yeah. Until I drop form, though, I can't spell weave necessarily because I'm scared for health. I don't know. I thought I was about to get jumped the second I walked in, so I don't know. What's your save?
Oh, it's 14. Hold on, let me check. 13.
13. Manticores are probably not very wise, right?
Probably
I
I
not.
don't know about
Maybe.
that.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't like the way you said that.
Yeah.
Who can say?
Who
We
my
have
God.
some stories.
Who can
And we
say?
have maybe at least 6 or 7 stories to share.
It's a good thing we ended the session. It is a good thing we
Yeah.
ended the session.
Yeah, before Harry could kill us all.
Oh my god.
There was no way that actually happened.
Oh my god.
3 D1s in a room and it spelled out 6-7.
That was amazing.
So
Life imitates art.
there's a spike going through his ankle into the wall that's pinning him.
Yeah, he's like pinned upside down, like loosely hanging, and his
Yeah.
ankle is like pinned into the wall by one of the spikes from the
Oh.
Manticore's tail.
Damn.
That's not great, y'all.
Not
You think
great.
response to
I'm rocking with 1 second level spell slot right now.
I'm rocking with also that and 16 max HP.
Nice.
Yeah. I need a second level
Absolutely.
spell slot to activate the shaker node with the moonbeam.
That's why I've only got the 1 left.
Moonbeam,
Yeah.
ice cream.
Cream.
That was
Didn't
the-
he cheat on-
Okay.
That was the other reason why I wild shaped. I was like, I can't really use my last spell slot anyway.
Yeah.
on Moonbeam.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good plan to activate the shaker node, like the 3 of us, and then try our best to put the Manticore to sleep and get out.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Somebody gonna have to get him down.
Yeah.
I don't have opposable thumbs right now.
Well, Boom can fly up.
Oh god. We're so cooked.
We're so cooked.
We'll be fine.
At least I'm at full health.
Yeah.
I think we're all at full health, and Rykard has all the spells.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
And you know
Rykard
what?
gonna be carrying.
Yep.
I do have
As
one more
usual.
wild shape, so it's like, you know.
Rykard carry.
Maybe we can trade with it. Maybe we can give it to him. If he wants entertainment, we can trade him items. Maybe.
That's true.
What would
He can
entertain
dump
him?
us immediate laser light.
Laser
Uh,
light show?
Sucker
Yes.
on the end of it.
Oh my god.
Kibbles.
Who knows? There might be a way to reason with them, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that guy clearly was. So.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
seemed like he gets entertainment from his food before he kills them. That's the energy I was getting.
Exactly.
He's like,
I mean,
Maybe one
same,
thing-
but you know, we can figure something out.
well, bye recording.
Goodbye,
recording.
recording.
Bye, recording.
Oh my
When's the next
God.
time we can play again?
Never.